you're looking for a complete how to make a website for beginners tutorial to build a fully functional professional website at no cost to you, then you've come to the right place. There was something else. Oh, at the end of this video, I'm going to discuss the 4 biggest mistakes people make that drastically hurt your search engine placement. Turns out the solutions for these 4 things are really easy and they're free.
Hi, I'm Bethany, and I love to write. Right now, I'm at Cabo San Souci in Ocho Rios, Jamaica, one of my favorite travel spots. I recently got the idea to make a WordPress website so I could share my writings with others and offer my readers practical advice. I wanted my website to be mobile-friendly, easy to navigate, and simple to update. I also needed a shopping cart and a blog. It turned out so well that my husband and I decided to make a tutorial to show others how to use WordPress. I hope you enjoy making your website as much as I had fun making mine.
Thanks, Bethany. Hello, I'm Yoda, and welcome to my YouTube channel. In this website tutorial, you'll learn how to build a website that has an amazing intro video, professional logo, eye-catching graphics, and all the bells and whistles the pros use at absolutely no cost to you. This video will use all the current web design and web development techniques to build a fully responsive website that automatically adjusts to meet the screen needs of any computer, laptop, tablet, phone, or any other handheld device. To get started, the only hard cost we have is web hosting, and that's where your website lives, and that's going to run us $3 to $10 a month. With your web hosting, you'll get a free domain, a value of $15, as well as an SSL key, which makes your web pages secure, and that has a value of about $99. As for software requirements, there are none. Everything we're going to need, we're going to do online. As for system requirements, this website tutorial is compatible with both Windows and iOS systems. All you need is your favorite browser and access to the internet, and you're ready to go. I recommend Chrome and Firefox as browsers of choice, as I've had some students in the past that had complaints about compatibility issues with Safari, Opera, and Internet Explorer. Now, during this course, if you run into any troubles, just leave a comment below the video and I'll be more than happy to assist you. And don't be shy about asking for help. I've been a webmaster instructor, aka the WebYoda, for over 20 years, and I love to hear from my students. But if you could, please pay it forward. If you could like the video, subscribe to the video, share the video, tell your friends about the video. Those are the kind of things that help get the word out there so other students like you can find this video. There was something else. Oh, at the end of this video, I'm going to discuss the 4 biggest mistakes people make that drastically hurt your search engine placement. Turns out the solutions for these 4 things are really easy and they're free. So I think we're ready to get started. So without further delay, let's go ahead and look at the website we're going to build today. Today we're going to build Bethany's new website, which is self-tastic.com. We'll learn how to do an intro like you see right here, and we'll learn how to add it to our website. Now notice how this text flies into place at just the right moment once the home page is revealed. You're going to be able to learn how to do that effect as well as all the other effects that are shown in this website. Now definitely don't get intimidated. I know this is going to look really fancy, it's going to look very professional, but you're going to be able to do all this. Trust me, it's not going to be a problem at all. Now you're not just a passive participant sitting in the audience watching a magic show as I put the show on. You're actually going to learn behind the scenes how to do all this. It's very simple, it's very easy, and you're going to be surprised how quickly you can build this entire website. If you don't have a logo, we'll learn how to make a logo. Scroll down. Notice how these items animated out. We'll learn how to do that. We'll learn how to make these category sections. In many cases, those are services, for example. Scroll down. We'll learn how to do that animation, but we'll also learn how to remove the background from that animation so that it just has the girl coming in. We'll learn how to do these call to action areas, and notice how they also animated in from the right and the left. And then we'll learn how to make the buttons grow when we hover over them. Scroll down. We'll learn how to make an image carousel. In this case, it's just images of words of wisdom, but they could be any images you want. And then we'll learn how to do another animation similar to the one we did above. And then if you need an email newsletter, we'll be able to integrate that into your website. And then we'll learn how to make this footer at the bottom that looks exactly the same on all pages. Under About, we'll learn how to make this fancy header. And then we'll learn how to integrate text so that it can wrap around a picture like it does here. And then we'll learn how to import the Words of Wisdom section so we don't have to create that again. We will not be adding a shopping cart as part of this course, but once we have completed our website, I will provide a link to the video shown here in case you want to add the shopping cart later. We'll learn how to make this super fancy gallery. Notice as we scroll down how neat those are when they slide in together. And this is also a light box, so any of these we pick on, it'll bring it up and we can scroll to the left or the right. And you close that out. And then we'll learn how to make a fully functional blog with a unique header, and then the individual blog items like this. And when you click on one of those, we'll learn how to format the blog post to have all these extra features, nicely formatted like that. And then we'll learn how to make this Contact Us page, where we have a really nice clean form like this. And then near the bottom, we'll have a map, and the map can zoom in and out and change it to whatever you need it to be. Now you should be able to learn everything you need to know in about 2 hours' time. I know on the surface it could look intimidating, super complicated, but trust me, you can do all this. I've got step-by-step all the way through showing you exactly what to do, and if you run into any troubles, just leave them below the video. I'd be more than happy to help you out. So we're ready to start on our website, but before we can build a website, we have to have a place for our website to live, and that's what web hosting does for you. Otherwise, you'd build a website on your local computer, but only you'd be able to see it. You want to be able to have the world see it, so you have to get hosting so everybody else can see your results. Finding great web hosting solutions in the matrix of hundreds of choices can be frustrating at best. You have to understand that nearly all web hosting review sites make sure that the web hosting company they are affiliated with always get the best review. So basically that web hosting company is number one to them because they get paid if you decide to use that company. I have been hosting websites for over 30 years, with the first 5 years being me supplying my own hosting. I have used at least 10 of the hosting companies shown here, either personally or for my clients. Obviously not all web hosting companies are created equal, and there are only a few that stand out from the rest. But how do you reveal the best web hosting provider with all the fake reviews out there? As puzzling as this might sound, I was able to find my answer while not allowing my own bias to interfere. For me, I like to turn problems inside out. In this case, I was looking for the web hosting review that reveals a web hosting company that sucks the least. So first, the quick answer to the question of who is the best web hosting company for me is simple. Hands down, it's HostGator. HostGator is definitely the best web hosting solution for me, my clients, and for WebYoda. But the obvious next question is, why is HostGator the best choice? Well, WebYoda did some research to try to find some authentic web hosting reviews, and they settled on some results from PC Magazine. You have to understand that PC Magazine has been around for nearly 40 years, providing essential technology information to the end user. For our purposes, every year PC Magazine does an Editor's Choice Award to determine the best web hosting companies. And shown here are the top 6 web hosting companies for this year, with HostGator being number 1. It turns out that HostGator has been rated the number 1 web hosting provider by PC Magazine for many years running. Basically, HostGator collectively has the features you need. Their server reliability is amazing, their 24/7 support is amazing, their prices are good or better than anybody out there. I personally have been using HostGator for more than 3 years now. I host over 200 domains and websites with them. WebYoda also decided to go with HostGator for all their needs. In fact, WebYoda partnered with HostGator, and as part of that partnership, WebYoda students receive up to 75% off plus a free domain name. Now, for you to take advantage of this offer, you simply need to go to your browser and type in hostgator.com/WebYoda. And this will take you to the HostGator WebYoda partner page, which also ensures that you get the best possible price for your WordPress hosting. Now what you see here is a previous version of the partner page. Let me refresh so you can see the partner page I'm seeing today. And I'm pointing this out because the partner page you might see might be slightly different than this one as well. But no matter what the partner page you see looks like, I want to make sure you're able to purchase your website hosting and install WordPress within your hosting account with absolutely no confusion on your end. Because YouTube videos can't be edited after they're published, there's a chance that HostGator will make a change to the WordPress install process that will no longer match the video. If you find that's the case, simply go to webyoda.com/support and then click on this video at the top left, and that'll take you to the latest HostGator WordPress install instructions. Now we're going to be purchasing our hosting and installing WordPress from the page you see here. So as you scroll down, you're going to see a Get Started button here. And further down, you'll see all the plans that we're going to have to choose from. Now, the next small step is probably not needed, but I wanted to include it just in case. Suppose the video already doesn't match with what you see at HostGator. If that's the case, just click on the HostGator logo at the top left, And this takes you to the main page for HostGator. And then go to Hosting and choose Shared Hosting. And this should bring you to the page that shows you the plans that we're going to use in this video. Now in our case, we're going to assume the HostGator WebYoda partner page matches up pretty much with what you see on your screen, and go ahead and proceed with purchasing our HostGator hosting, installing our WordPress, and then I'll give you complete instructions how to build your WordPress website at absolutely no cost to you. So from the HostGator WebYoda partner page, you simply want to scroll down. You can choose the Get Started button if you like, and it'll take you to the plans, or we could have just scrolled down to get to those plans. Now the reason you want shared hosting is because it starts around $2.50 a month, whereas dedicated server hosting will run you over $90 a month. Now for most students, you're only going to need one website, which means the hatchling plan will probably work fine for you. If you need 2 websites, you'll want to get the baby plan. If you want 3 websites, you're going to want the business plan. And if you need more than 3 websites, or if you need to upgrade from having one website to have multiple websites, just reach out to HostGator using the chat button at the bottom right, and they can assist you at adding any additional features you might need at a small upcharge. Again, most of us are just going to need the hatchling plan because we're only going to need one website, which normally runs about $2.50 a month, but because of the WebYoda partnership, we'll be able to get you a price even better than that. So with the hatchling plan, we'll be able to build our one website. It comes with 10 gigabytes of SSD storage, where SSD stands for solid state drive, which is the fastest drives available today. And 10 gigabytes of space is going to be more than enough to build any reasonable sized website. You also get free chat support, which is amazing. I use it all the time anytime I run into troubles. You'll also get unlimited bandwidth, which means your website can get unlimited traffic at no additional cost to you. You also get basic email included. You'll get a free domain name, a free secure key, which makes all your web pages secure. Now, as a very recent feature to HostGator, which spawned the making of this video, WordPress now comes pre-installed, so we don't even have to install WordPress, which is really good news for you and me. With the hatchling plan, you also get malware scanning, which means that HostGator is always scanning your account to make sure none of your files have been infected and hackers haven't gotten hold of your account. Now we're ready to purchase our hosting account, so we'll go ahead and click on the Buy Now button. And now we're ready to fill out our application for purchasing HostGator hosting. The first thing we need to do is choose a domain name. So for example, the domain name for WebYoda is webyoda.com. Now in most cases, people already have a domain name in mind that they want to use. In that case, we want to register a domain here. So for me, I'm going to choose howtoinstallwordpress.com, and I want to see if that's available. Now if you have your own domain name, you can click right there. If you're unsure what the best domain name is for your website, or if the domain name you're interested in is already taken and you're unsure how to proceed, simply take a step back. You don't have to get your hosting right this very second. It's really more important to pick the best domain name, since once you've picked one, it's hard to undo that. Just go ahead and go below the video into the comment section and leave me a message that says, "Hey Yoda, I'm having trouble picking a domain name." Explain a little bit about your company, what you're looking to do with your website, and then I'll respond as fast as I can with some domain name suggestions so you can move forward. So I'll go ahead and click over here. Search for domain, and let's see if it's available. Once the search is complete, you'll notice a couple things. First, the domain name I'm interested in is available, which is great news. And secondly, that domain name will be free thanks to the HostGator WebYoda partnership. Notice it says promo code successfully applied, and that's because you came through the WebYoda link and it's automatically giving you that WebYoda discount. And once we adjust our shopping cart, you're going to see just how good of a discount that is. So we already chose the hatchling plan. But to get the best price, I want to go with 1 year. So let's choose 1 year. Domain name is going to be free. You'll see a section on domain privacy. Domain privacy basically hides your identity or your personal contact information for people who do search results on domain names. And on the surface, this looks like a pretty good deal. For $15 a year, I'm hiding my contact information. I'm making myself private. But the reality is, on your website, it's going to have your contact information. It's going to have an address. It's going to have a phone number. So somebody's going to be able to find you either way. So it's kind of up to you whether or not you want this privacy, because you're only making it private for people viewing the domain name information. It doesn't make it private for any other methods people might try to contact you. So for my purposes, I don't need that. You need to make the choice yourself. Remove from cart. The next one is the professional email trial. I have a video that shows you how to add email forward for free, so there's no reason to purchase email solutions at this time. So I'm going to get rid of that one. And then anything else they want to add on, we're not going to need those. For example, for backups, I have a backup solution that you don't have to pay a monthly fee. As for cyber attacks, they're going to protect us whether we pay for anything or not, so there's really no reason to pay any additional fee to do that. So now if we look over here to the right, our total payment today is $27.48. I think you'll have to agree $27.48 for an entire year worth of hosting is a wonderful deal. And this also comes with a money-back guarantee in case you're not satisfied. Now at this point, you could add the WebYoda promo code. Now currently, for some reason, when you choose this, it says offer could not be applied. When you do this, it'll probably be fixed. But since you came through HostGator.com/WebYoda, you already got the best price, so applying this really wouldn't have made a difference anyway. Let's continue to checkout. You need to fill out your billing information. You need to fill out your username and password, your credit card information. So let's go ahead and fill some information out. I went ahead and entered my credit card information off screen, but once you enter your credit card information, your submit button will become active like mine. So let's go ahead and process our order. So we're going to choose Submit Payment. Congratulations, our hosting account is now set up and ready to use. All we need to do is log into our account. Now in this case, they just got the My Account button. When we click that, it's going to automatically log us in. But the next time you go to log in, you're going to need your user ID, and it's going to be whatever email address you used when you set up your account, as well as the password you used when you set up your account. Now at this point, we're going to click on the My Account button, and that's going to take us directly into our hosting account. So let's go ahead and click the My Account button. And that takes us directly to our hosting account. Now I wanted to quickly show you how you're going to be able to get back to here the next time you need to log into your hosting account. It's pretty easy. All you need to do is go to HostGator.com. And then from the main page for HostGator, click on Sign In at the top right. Enter the email address that you used to sign up for your account here. Click on Next. Now it wants the password you used when you set up your account, so I'll go ahead and paste that in. Click Next. And that takes us directly to our hosting account. Now immediately you notice they're trying to upsell us on something. This is going to be the case with all hosting companies. Their goal is to make money, obviously. But for us, we're going to ignore the advertisements as much as possible. So at this point, we can just go into our HostGator menu. It's going to be here at the top left. I click on that, and I have 3 choices. And we're going to choose on Hosting. And now would be the point where we would install WordPress. However, the great news is HostGator just made a change. They're automatically installing WordPress for you without any effort on your part. So basically, all we need to do is start editing our website. Because if we scroll down, here's the Edit Site button. It's already ready to go. So for us, all we need to do is scroll down and choose Edit Site. And notice that it came up with this offer. These are the kind of things you can expect from any hosting company. They're going to try to sell you on things. Our goal is to get around these. Let me go ahead and close that. Let's click on Edit Site again. And basically, this is what we're trying to find. And this is the default that they start you with. And you'll notice the Start Setup button at the bottom. But we're not going to be using their method for setting up your WordPress. And that's because if you use their method, there's going to be lots of paywalls in the way. And we don't want to have any paywalls. If you follow my instructions through the end of this video, it'll get you all set up where everything can be done for free. Then you can follow any of my how-to videos on how to build a website, which will allow you to build your website entirely free at no cost to you. So for us to move forward, we're going to ignore the Start Setup here, and we're going to go ahead and click on the Exit to WordPress option here. Exit without finishing, and it automatically takes us to our new WordPress admin. Now what I want to do is I want to be able to get to our WordPress admin, what you're seeing here, without having to go through my HostGator hosting account. And the way that I'm going to do that is I'm going to create my own user. So on the left-hand side, we're going to choose Users. And here it is. It's trying to give me another, please do this. And I don't want to do this. Scroll down, go back to the dashboard. It's really annoying. I want to go back, down, find Users. And now in the section at the bottom is where our current users are. We just want to click on the button at the top that says Add New User. So at this point, we see all the default users, which was the one that was generated automatically. We want to add a new user. Scroll to the top if it wasn't already at the top. We want to put in a username. I'll put Yoda user. For an email, I'll use the one I used to set up the account. For the name, YODA. You don't need to put a website address. I recommend using a strong password. Let's go ahead and hide that so I can put a new password in. Got a new password. Now where it says role, change this to administrator. Be sure to remember your username and your new password because that's what we're going to use to log into WordPress going forward. I click on Add New User. That new user has been added. Yeah, sure, I'll save it. Now I can come up here and choose Log Out. I'm no longer logged in. So now the trick is, how do we log into our WordPress website admin without having to go through HostGator to get there? Well, there's two pieces of information we're going to need. First, we're going to have our domain name. Now notice right now that HostGator has set aside a temporary website that's not really our real website. And the reason they've done this is because when you purchase hosting, the hosting's available immediately, but the domain name may take a while because it has to propagate across the internet once it's been purchased and activated. So the first thing we need to do is make sure that our domain name is now active. To do that, let's go to the address bar, and in the address bar, put the domain name for your new website. It's whatever domain name you picked when you chose to set up your hosting. Now in my case, my new website is howtoinstallwordpress.com. So now that I've entered it in there, if I hit enter, if everything's up and ready to go, you'll get a website that kind of looks like this, meaning that you have a default website and it's functioning. However, if your domain name is not available, it's possible you'll see something that looks like this. So if your domain name was not ready yet, you'll need to wait a couple hours and try again, sometimes up to 24 hours. But the goal is to be able to go to your domain name and get something that looks like this, indicating that there is a website there, even though it's not going to be the one we're going to build. Once you get this, now we're ready to log in to our WordPress admin. Now, the trick is, how do we log in to our WordPress admin? And the answer is, we have our username and password now, we just created it. But what you want to do on the location line is go to your website address. So in my case, it's howtoinstallwordpress.com. Then on the end of our domain name, we type a /wp-admin, and we hit enter. And that takes us to the login page for our new website. Now, one of the things you'll notice is up on the URL, it still says that it's trying to connect to the temporary domain name. And that's one of the things we're going to fix now. It's actually the last step before we're ready to start building our website. My username and password are already there. It pre-populated them because I saved it in the system. So all I need to do is click on Login. And it automatically takes us to the admin for our new WordPress website. I got there directly instead of having to go through my hosting account. But again, notice I'm on the temporary domain name. So let's go ahead and change the temporary domain name to our real domain name. To do that, on the left-hand side, we're looking for Settings. You'll click on Settings. So under General Settings, there's a number of different things we'll want to change. The first is your site title. In my case, I'm going to put How to Install WordPress. Your site title will be whatever your website's about. And then you can pick a tagline. In my case, Your Ultimate Guide to Installing WordPress. Now, these can be changed at any time by coming back into the Settings tab, so it's not like you're making a permanent decision here. The next thing we're going to change is the address to get to our WordPress and the address for our website. And now that our domain name is working, we've already tested it and we saw that it's working, we're ready to put that in there. So in my case, it's going to be howtoinstallwordpress.com, but you're also going to want to put this at the beginning, https:// and what that does is tell your website to be secure. That's what the S does. So in my case, it's going to be howtoinstallwordpress.com. Now, in your case, it's going to be your domain name. So you want to have your full URL, https:// and then your domain name. Now, the slash on the end is not needed. So now that I have my correct URL in here, and definitely make sure that you have it correct before you save this. I'm going to copy that into the box below because I want them to be the same. And the final thing you want to do to have complete control of your WordPress admin is set the administrative email address to your own personal email. And that way, any of the emails related to your website will come directly to you. So in the email box, I'm going to put yoda@webyoda.com. And now I can scroll to the bottom and hit Save Changes. And once I save changes, it automatically takes me to a login box. And now look up here. It says howtoinstallwordpress.com. So now I'm actually at my domain name. But also notice it doesn't have our username and password because when it was saved to that temporary one. which is no problem. It just means we enter them again here. So for me, my username is Yoda User. Now I want to enter my password for when I set up my new user in WordPress. I hit login. It's going to ask me again, do I want to save it? Sure, I want to save it. Now look at this. We're live with our real domain name using a username and password that we created, so we're in complete control of that. And now we'll no longer have to go through our HostGator account to log into our WordPress admin. So if you've been following along with the video, you probably already know by now that self-tastic.com already exists. So for us to build the new website, we're going to have a sample area. So in this case, I'm going to build sample.self-tastic.com, and I'm going to go to wp-admin to bring up the admin for her website. In my case, my username was already there, so I can paste in my password and log in. And now I'm at the fresh install for Bethany's new website. Now, one of the first things I want to do is get some things set up for us. And so if we go over here and we highlight over where it says Self-Tastic, if I right-click on that, I can open the link in a new tab. And what that did was, it opened our new website in our second tab. And now I want to go to Bethany's live website in a third tab so we can follow along in real time exactly what it is we plan to accomplish. In most cases, when I build a new how-to video, I make a script for that video so that it's easier for me to create the video. And at some point when I was using the script in a previous video, a student pointed out that I should make that script available to everybody since it was very useful. Well, it was a great idea, and so that's what we're going to do next. So let's go ahead and open another tab, and to get to the script, we're going to go to webyoda.com/selftastic. And the last thing we want to do is download all the content I use within this website, so when you're following along, you can build the exact same website. So I'm going to open up another tab, and this time I'm going to go to webyoda.com/content, and now I'm going to scroll down to the project we're working on, selftastic.com. And that was another way to get to the script. But we're going to click on this link here, and it's going to download Self-Tastic for us. And when it's done, on mine, I can click on that and show in a folder. And you see it's in my Downloads folder. And then I can right-click on the file. I can choose Extract All. Click on Extract. And now it makes a folder containing all the content I need, opens it up in a new window. So I can close that one, bring that over here, and when I click on that, this is all the content we're going to use to create this website. So I can go ahead and close this tab. In this tab is the script for building the website. In this tab is Bethany's real website. In this tab is the site we're going to build. And then this tab is our admin for our WordPress so we can build the website. Now that we're ready to get started, I wanted to cover a couple of tips that will really help you out. First, some subscribers have pointed out that I tend to talk too fast. This is unavoidable as my processor runs a little faster like a child's processor, probably because I refuse to grow up. Fortunately, YouTube offers a feature to slow videos down to meet your needs. So for example, I'm going to go to this video in a new browser window. Now within the video, I'm going to choose the settings gear. I'm going to choose playback speed, 0.75. Now this is what 75% sounds like, which should probably meet your needs. Now I'll choose playback speed again. I'll choose normal, and we're back to normal speed. Next, I want to scroll down, and within the content under the video that I've provided, there's going to be an entire set of timestamps that allows you to pick any particular spot in the video to proceed. Let's go ahead and close that tab. And the last tip I want to give you is the script itself. When you go to the script, it's got a lot of information here. It tells you the plugins. We're going to cover that anyway in the video. It tells us about the Astra theme. Then it has a whole bunch of royalty-free video clips you may be able to use, royalty-free images you can use, and then it has all the notes I'm going to need for the class. For example, all the colors I'm going to use are found here. Now, two things that are nice within this is if you need to find a hex color, and we'll talk about that a little later, if you click on this link, I'll right-click and open link. It comes up with the ability to pick a color. So let's say I wanted to pick a red, and now this number right here is your hex color. All you have to do is click this icon and it copies it, and now you have that color. Alternatively, the other one, we'll right-click on this, choose open link, This gives you the ability to pick this type of color, and this digit right here is to say how much transparent it is. So watch, when we go like this, see how that gets transparent right here? So that gives you some idea. Here's your color settings, and then here's how transparent it is. And then again, you can click there, it makes a copy of it, and you can use it in your website. Let's go back to the script. And now you're into the Getting Started section. These are all the notes I made for myself so I can make the video, but you can also use these to your benefit. When you scroll down, you'll probably notice to the left of Yoda, you talk too fast, is a bunch of W's. And you're going to say to yourself, hey Yoda, why all the extra W's? I will tell you. Bethany decided she was going to get a new kitten. The kitten decided it wanted to play on my keyboard. It hit the W, and I decided to leave it in the course. Okay, random facts. We've already covered the hosting. We've already covered WordPress. And now we're going to jump into themes and plugins. Now, for the most part, I won't be showing the script. I'm just going to be using the script, but you know that it's there for you as well. Now, admittedly, I'm no Bob Ross, but I definitely do my best to keep things fun and easy. I hope that the tips I just provided you will ensure your experience building your website will be met with confidence and enjoyment. So we're going to go ahead and go back to our WordPress admin. At this point, if you already have a website, then there's really no reason to watch the steps on how to build a website. Instead, you can go ahead and proceed to the section called Enable SSL, which is the first step in the process of adding a shopping cart to your website. So the first step in building Bethany's website is to remove all the stuff that's not going to be part of her website. So let's go ahead and click on Pages first. And we don't need any of the pages they have here. We're going to make our own. So we select that checkbox there, and it selects all of them. Under Bulk Actions, we're going to choose Move to Trash. And then we'll choose Apply. And as an additional step, I like to click on Trash. Choose them all again. Bulk Actions. Delete permanently. Apply. And now we want to get rid of all the plugins that were pre-installed because we're not going to need any of those. We're going to use all of our own. So I'm going to go down to Plugins. And this brings up a list of all the plugins that were pre-installed. Again, I can select next to Plugins, that checkbox, and it chooses all of them. Bulk Actions. And before we can delete them, we have to deactivate them. So we'll choose Deactivate, Apply. Now I can choose Plugin again, so it selects them all. Bulk Actions, Delete, Apply. OK, because yes, we want to delete them. And this will remove all the pre-installed plugins. Now we want to add the theme that we're going to use for Bethany's website. So we're going to go to Appearance, Themes, choose Add New, and we're ready to upload a theme. So first we're going to download the theme we need. But you might say to yourself, but here are all the themes. Why don't I just pick the one I need? Well, the answer is you could do that. But I can't guarantee that the theme we're going to use or the plugins we're going to use are always available in all environments. So if you don't have your hosting with HostGator, the theme and plugins may not be available in your environment. To make sure the theme and plugins we need are going to be available, I've stored them permanently on the WebYoda server. So let's go ahead and get our theme now. So we'll open up a new tab, and we're going to go to webyoda.com/themes. Scroll down to the project we're working on. There's self-tastic.com. And we're going to click on Astra theme. That takes us to the Astra website, but it also downloaded the Astra theme right there. We can go ahead and close that. Now we want to go to webyoda.com/plugins. We want to download the plugins we need for this project. So again, we'll scroll down to this project, self-tastic.com, and we're going to need to download all of these plugins. And as we download them, I'll give you a little bit of information about what each one of them is. The Astra starter sites, we'll click on that. That's going to allow us to install a fully functioning complete website, including a shopping cart in case we want one. Then we're going to download header footer for Elementor. That's going to allow us to build a free header and footer for our websites instead of having to pay a premium for it. Then we're going to download Profile Press. And Profile Press allows you to set the icon for your blog instead of being whatever the default one is. And then we're going to download Social Sharing. And this plugin makes it real easy for someone else to share your blog posts. And then we're going to download the Classic Editor. A lot of updates and changes have been made to the WordPress environment, and by having the Classic Editor, as well as the Classic Widget, it ensures that we all see the exact same environment so that what you're following along on your admin matches what's in the video. Then we're going to download Duplicate Page. And Duplicate Page allows you to take a page you've already created and make a copy of it and then edit that to be your new page, which is significantly faster than building a page from scratch. Now we're going to download Really Simple SSL. And what this plugin does is ensure that the secure pages are the default for your website. And next we're going to download the WooCommerce Stripe Gateway. And the WooCommerce Stripe Gateway is what allows you to accept credit cards on your shopping cart in case you're doing the shopping cart. And now we're going to download WooCommerce Taxes and Shipping. And this gives you an automated way to do taxes and shipping in case you add a shopping cart to your website. And finally, we're going to download the WooCommerce plugin itself. And that's the plugin that allows us to add a free shopping cart to our website. So now all of those have been downloaded. I'll go ahead and close that. And now we want to go to our downloads folder. So I'll bring mine up. And it shows everything that we've downloaded so far. I'm going to go ahead and click on Date. And that's going to allow me to see these in the order that they were downloaded. So now let's go back to our WordPress admin. Now we can choose Upload Theme. And now we're going to choose a file. And you want to go to your Downloads folder. Then we're going to select Astra.zip. That's our theme. We'll choose Open. Install now. And once it's installed, we need to activate it. And it's that little link right there. And that activates our theme. In almost all cases, you'll immediately be able to update it to the most recent version. So we'll choose Update Now. Now our theme is updated. Now if we come back to our website and hit Reload, you notice that it's changed a little bit. Still nothing like the site we're going to build, but we're getting closer. So let's go back to our WordPress admin, and we're ready to install the plugins we're going to need for our website. So we're going to choose Plugins, Add New. Now we want to do Upload Plugin, choose File. We want to be in a Downloads folder. And the first one we're going to do is Astra Starter Sites. So we'll select that. Choose Open. Install now. Activate plugin. The Astra Starter Site plugin will want to start installing your website immediately. But we want to install the rest of our plugins first, then we can install the starter site. So for now, let's click on the X at the top right to exit this mode and continue installing our plugins. So we're going to choose Plugins. Ready for the second one. Add New. Upload Plugin. Choose File. The second one is Header Footer, Elementor. Open. Install now. Activate Plugin. Ready for the third one. Add New. Upload Plugin. Choose File. WP User Avatar. That has a new name, Profile Press, but the original file name is still the same, so we'll choose that one. Open. Install now. Activate Plugin. We're ready for the next one. Add New. Upload Plugin. Choose File. The next one is Social Sharing by Danny. Open. Install now. Activate Plugin. Add New. Upload Plugin. Choose File. And the next one we're going to do is the Classic Editor. Open. Install now. Activate Plugin. And choose Add New. Upload Plugin. Choose File. And the next one is Classic Widgets. Choose Open. Install now. Activate Plugin. Again, Add New. Upload Plugin. Choose File. Duplicate Page. Open. Install now. Activate Plugin. Now at this point, if you're following along in the script, you'll see that we're not going to install the other 4 at this time. We'll take care of that later. So we've installed all the plugins we need for now. Also, at some point, Profile Press may ask you to create pages. We're just going to do no thanks when it asks us that because we don't need that. So we'll go back to our WordPress admin. And another thing you're going to find is always a lot of little advertisements. You can close each of those. and try to clean things up a little bit. This says to install Elementor. That's going to be taken care of a different way for us. Next thing we want to do is update our plugins. So we're going to choose to select them all. Bulk actions, update, apply. And we can scroll down and watch it do its thing. Now all of our plugins are updated. And now we're ready to install our starter site. Now watch what happens when I click right here. I want to see the library. It's going to give me this, sorry, you're not allowed to access this page. Don't know why. Sometimes it doesn't do that. Usually it does. So I'll click the back arrow. And then we'll go back to the starter sites. When we click on See Library again, it's going to work. So from here, you're going to want to click on Build with Templates. Up here, let's choose Elementor. Let's dismiss that. Up here, let's choose Elementor, which is the world's most popular website page builder. Now what we're looking at right now are all the different website templates they have to offer. It's totally amazing what they have already pre-built. And basically a lot of times you can find a website that's just about everything you need it to be. Now there's two types of templates in here. If we go over to all, we can choose Premium. And it shows only their premium versions. And if you decide on a premium template for your website, go ahead and visit WebYoda.com/Astra, and this will guarantee you the best price. In most cases, you can find a free site that'll work, and for this example, we're going to use a free site. So let's go ahead and change that back to all. Now notice there's lots of different categories that you can look through to find the particular one you're looking for. In our case, we're going to do one that's called Cosmetics as our default. So if you type Cosmetics in the box, you'll see that the ones that are available under that heading show up. And the one that we're going to want looks like this. In my case, it's the first one. It may be farther down the list. So you want to go ahead and click on that. And this brings up the starter site we're going to use to build our website. There's a number of options you can fill in here, but we're going to do all that ourselves later. So all we need to do is click on Skip and Continue. We're going to scroll to the bottom. We're going to choose Continue. At this point, you'll likely see some Select Features options. Just scroll down. And let's click Skip this step. No, I really don't want to share any information right now. Submit, Build Site. It's going to ask us a couple of questions. So let's go ahead and fill in the boxes. We'll put Yoda. Yoda at WebYoda.com. I am. We'll tell them we're intermediate. And we're building our website. And I don't really want their newsletter right now. Scroll down. You will need to choose the I understand, let's go option. Submit and build my website. Now it's installing our starter site. And remember earlier we didn't install Elementor ourselves. That's because it's going to install it here, so there's really no reason I add that extra step. This process doesn't take very long. I speeded it up just a little bit right here so that we didn't have to wait as long. Congratulations, installation complete. Took 33 seconds. They give you an option to view your website here, but we already have a tab to do that. And if we go to our second tab and hit reload, look at there, we've got a fully functioning website with a shopping cart already built into it. How nice is that? So that's for free from Astra Themes, and you could basically build any website they have in that collection, either the free versions or the premium versions, and start with a website that's already completed. I love it. But in our case, we're going to take this website, which is pretty cool as it is, and build Bethany's website, which is, I think, even cooler. So let's go back to our WordPress admin. Click on the X at the top right to exit this mode. I'm going to go ahead and close this little window. It takes up space and I don't like it. Now, since we're going to be building Bethany's website first before we do any of the shopping cart related things, and some people may not even choose to use the shopping cart, we're going to go ahead and disable the WooCommerce shopping cart for now, and then we can reactivate it later when we're ready. So the first step to do that is we're going to go to Plugins, scroll down, and we'll just deactivate WooCommerce. Next, we want to remove the Shop button. In this case, on our website, it's right there. To do that, we're going to go to Appearance, Menus, and now we need to choose the menu we're going to look at. So we're going to pull down that menu there and choose Primary Menu. Hit Select. And now we're looking at the primary menu. Inside of the one that says Shop, I can remove that for now. And now at the bottom, may have to scroll down to get to it, Save Menu. And now when we go back and reload our site, there's no longer a shopping cart in there for now. So we'll go back to our WordPress admin. And at this point, I wanted to discuss the things that can go wrong. Murphy's Law states that when things can go wrong, they will go wrong, and you will experience this yourself. It's been my experience plenty of times while building websites that random unexplained things can go wrong. For example, once I wanted to update my theme and the theme button would not work. Another time I clicked on my widgets page and instead of seeing these widgets, the page came up empty like this. Another time on my shopping cart, where there should be stars under the review, there were just a bunch of S's instead. Another time inside of my customized options, only a portion of the options were showing up instead of all the options I expected to see. So I know right now you're saying to yourself, hey Yoda, what am I going to do about these things? What happens when they go wrong? I will tell you. In most cases, the problems can resolve with a simple keystroke. If you're inside the page that you want to fix, for example, let's say it was this page, I can hold down the Control key and the Shift key, and then I can hit the Reload button at the top left, and in most cases that'll solve the problem and you'll see the corrected version. Alternatively, you might also try clearing the cache inside of your browser. You may try restarting your browser. Or you might also try viewing your website in incognito mode to see what the rest of the world sees. And at this point, if you're still having problems, just leave a message under the video and we can work on your problem together. Now, as a last resort, you can always restore your website from a backup when things really go wrong. Now, unfortunately, if you don't have a reliable backup solution in place when something goes wrong with your website, you stand to lose everything. I personally use Backup Buddy, which has saved me many times over the years. Either way, you want to consider a backup solution that meets your needs. If you're looking to make scheduled automated backups of your WordPress website where you're in full control, as well as make manual backups at any time that you can store locally on your own computer, then you'll want to check out my WordPress Backup and Restore video at some point. Now in my case, I also installed the Backup Buddy plugin in Bethany's new website, and periodically as we go along, I'll save where I'm at in case something goes wrong. I can always restore to where I'm at. So at this point, I'm going to scroll down. I'm going to choose Backup Buddy. I'm going to choose Complete Backup. Watch it do its thing, which really doesn't take that long. And when the backup's complete, I scroll up and I choose Download the backup file. And this downloads a complete copy of the entire website and the database in case something goes wrong. And now we're ready to make some adjustments to the header section of Bethany's new website. If you look at the real-time one, there's a logo to the left and a menu to the right. On ours, the logo's above. Let's go ahead and get started in making some of these changes. So we'll go back to our WordPress admin. We'll go to Appearance, Customize, Header Builder. And notice down here, it shows us the orientation of the stuff that's up here. So for example, I can move this one over here, and it shows that logo over there. I can move this one over here, and it shows the menu over there. Now we're going to choose the Site Identity and Logo button, and we're going to change our logos. So we'll click on Change Logo. I wanted to point out an interesting quirk about the media library. Sometimes when you load the media library, it'll be in this mode, which is Upload File mode. However, sometimes when you load your media library, it'll come up in Media Library mode where you see the pictures. And you see how it could be confusing. If I bring up a screen that looks like this, but yet you go into yours and it looks like this, it could be confusing. So just keep in mind that if you see this, but you expect to see all the pictures, all you have to do is click on Media Library to bring up the picture version. So let's go back to the Upload Files. Now I can select files here, but the much easier way to do that is to bring up that folder we have that has all of our content in it. But we can drag stuff from the content folder directly into here. So I'm going to scroll down and look for my logo. And there's my menu logo. I can drag that over. I can choose Select. We're going to skip cropping. And we'll scroll down. We'll change the next image. Now it's in our library. So I'll choose it again. choose image, scroll down, and what width do I want it? And this little icon here says on a regular computer screen. And I want the width on a regular computer screen to be 230. See how that made it the correct size there? Now if I click that icon, now it's in tablet mode. And in tablet mode, I want it to be that size. And also, I can move this to the left, this to the right. If we click that icon again, it shows us phone mode. I want to go ahead and make that 180. We want to make sure both of these settings are turned off, which they are by default. And now we want to upload what's called the favicon icon. And that's the little icon like right here where you see the WebYoda one. On Bethany's, you see the Self-Tastic one. And on these two tabs, it shows the WordPress default. So we'll choose Select Site Icon. You want these images to be a minimum of 512 by 512. We'll go back to our library. And here's our logo for the favicon. I use the PNG format for most files. It's a very versatile format. So I'll drag that over. I'll hit Select. Choose Crop Image. And now you see it showed up down here. And when we refresh this page, it'll also show up. So we'll hit Publish. Now we're not seeing it here just yet, but if we come over here and we hit Reload, I held down Shift and Control when I did that to make sure I got a better reload. And now it shows the new icon. The logo's to the left, the menu's to the right. We're making progress. Now notice this doesn't have our logo yet, and that's because this is a transparent menu bar. So we're going to go ahead and go back and change the logo in a couple of other places. The logos we've done so far will make sure the logo shows up correctly in your shopping cart in case you're putting a shopping cart on your website. So if we scroll to the top, we can hit Customize Transparent Header. And now we scroll down and we're going to change these two images. So that logo is right there. Choose Image. Again, or change Image. Choose that one. Hit the Choose Image button. We scroll down. Now we're looking at the phone version still. If I click that, it displays the computer format again. I want to make that 230 for the computer, as before. And then for the tablet, I'll make it 200. And for the mobile, again, 180. Let's choose Publish. Go back to our new website, hit Reload. And now we have a nice logo here. But you're saying to yourself, but you don't have a logo. What do I do? I will tell you. If you're looking to make a professional logo for your website online at no cost to you in about 5 minutes time, then you'll want to check out my Make a Free Logo video at some point. The next thing we want to do is to be able to change this font. This font may be fine for you and you don't need to change it, but I want a different font for our menu. So we'll go back into our WordPress admin. I'll choose X. And just for consistency, I'm going to show you how to get to these things each time from the top menu. So we're going to go back to Appearance, Customize, Header Builder, choose the Primary Menu button, choose the Design button, scroll down, and here's the menu font option. They really hide this stuff, don't they? So I'll click on the pencil. And I want the family to be Open Sans Condensed. I'm going to choose 24. I'll choose Publish. Come back over here, Reload. And I like that a lot better. Now I want to look at how to set base colors for your entire website. So we're going to close that out. Again, for consistency, we'll start at the dashboard. We'll go to Appearance, Customize, Global, Colors. And now here's your colors for your website. The only one I'm going to set right now, just so you see how it works. So I'm going to choose this, and I want to scroll, and I'm going to put my background color in there. And you're like, well, where did I get that color from? I came over to our script. I scrolled to the top, and these are all the colors that we had predefined. Me and Bethany sat down and figured out the colors we wanted. You'll want to go in and decide the colors you want, and then when you save them in a file, you can always get back to the ones you need for the different things you need to use them for. So in my case, the background color was this light blue, and that's where that number came from right there. We came back over here. I can hit publish. And you could set all your default colors for your website within here. The what's there is going to work fine for what we're trying to do for right now. And one of the last steps that we want to do that have to do with kind of the setup of things is when you come to the website, and let's say we clicked on testimonials. Notice how it says the word testimonials here. Now the page name you assign to a web page is called the slug name. So in this case, the slug name for the testimonials page is testimonials. To make WordPress use the slug name as the page name requires a specific setting in WordPress. And let me show you what I mean. If I come back in here and you go to settings and then you go to permalinks, this defines the different ways that your URLs for the pages can show up. By choosing post name as the permalink setting, you are telling WordPress to use the slug name as the page name at the end of your URL. And so if you're following along and you built your website with a different theme or something like that, yours may not have the permalinks set the same way we want to set them. Typically, post name is liked better by search engines, so we like to use that. Now I'll scroll down, hit Save Changes, and now if we go back to the website we're working on and we click the Home button, we're going to start making this page look like this page. So let's go back to our WordPress admin, and we're going to choose Pages, and that brings up the pages that are in our website. And then down where the home page is, out to the right, when you're hovering over it, you can choose Edit with Elementor. And that loads our home page up into the Elementor editor. Now the Elementor page builder is the most popular page builder on the planet, and you're going to find out real quickly why that is. It's just really easy to use, super user-friendly, it's fast, reliable, all those fun things. During the final edits of this video, Elementor made some cosmetic changes to the navigation of the Elementor page builder. These changes do not affect the features of Elementor, but only the location of where the options are accessed. To avoid weeks of additional production which would have severely delayed the release of this video, I've decided instead to explain the changes Elementor made, which should make following the video easier for you to follow. What Elementor did is create a new menu bar at the top of the Elementor page builder as shown here. The first thing to notice is that the Update Publish button has been moved from the bottom left of your page builder to the top right of the new menu bar. As we will see soon, the Update Publish button will allow us to take our most recent page updates and changes live. Next, the edit features that allow you to make sure your website looks great on all devices have been moved from the bottom left of your page builder to the top middle of your menu bar. These features allow you to make sure your website looks great on both desktop, laptop, and mobile devices. Rest assured that these device compatibility features will be discussed in detail later in the video. The next feature we will use a lot, and that is because it's where you access the widgets that make up all your web pages. Originally, you would access your widgets by clicking on the checkerboard icon shown here. In the new menu bar, you will choose the plus icon to access your widgets. And finally, when you're ready to exit the Elementor page builder and go back to your WordPress dashboard, in the past you would choose the hamburger icon shown here at the top left, but now you would choose the Elementor E icon found on the far left of the new menu bar. As an added feature of the new menu bar, you can now easily tell what page you're editing. In this case, we're editing the home page as shown here in the middle of the new menu bar. I think the addition of this new menu bar is a great improvement to Elementor, and I expect you will enjoy the changes as well. Now before we get started making changes to our page, I wanted to give you a little bit of background on how this works. At the very top you see these icons, and this is the section edit icon. This allows you to control the section, which in this case is this whole area here. Whereas this section is that section there, and that's a different type of a section. We'll talk about that. Notice how it's got a little border on here. If you click on that, that's called an intersection. See right there? If you keep going down and we click on here, that's a section in itself. So each one of these, it's basically a row, is what a section is. Now, inside of a row can be columns. And this little icon here defines the column. So as we scroll down, this particular one here has more than one column in it. Notice there and there. And this one here has a column here, and a column here. So you see that's the section. So we click on that, it shows a section. In this case, it's called an intersection. I'll tell you how that's different. We'll use that later. But it's still a section. And inside a section, there's columns. So a section is a row, and then the columns inside of it, there's a column marker. So you edit the column by clicking on those. And then inside of a column, this is a cell, you can put different widgets. So that's a widget, and see the little icon, that's how you edit the widgets. So when you scroll down to any area, here's the section, that edits the section. And then here's the column. If I click on that, now I'm editing the column. And then inside of that, look, there's 1, 2, 3 different widgets. If I click on that, it's editing that widget. If I click on that, it's editing that widget. If I click on that, it edits that widget. Furthermore, within each section, within each column, and within each widget are 3 different ways that you can edit. So for example, where it says Our Happy Clients, if I select that, on the left I can change the content. So here's the content. I can change the style of that content, and then I have advanced settings for that content. And that's true for anything. So when we come to the top and we click on this content up here, that is the section at the top. Here is the layout, in this case, the style for that section, and the advanced settings for that section. And if I go to the column, here is the layout for that column, here's the style for that column, and here's the advanced for that column. And then inside of this, if I click on a widget, there's the content for the widget, the style for the widget, and the advanced for the widget. So that's enough to get us started. And the first thing I want to do is change the background from being this cute girl to being the one that's going to be in our website. So we'll choose the section at the top, and then we're going to choose between layout, style, and advanced. We're going to choose style. And here's the image that we're going to change. So if we click on that, I need to put the new image I'm going to use here. So we'll bring up our content folder. And now I'm looking for the cover image. And it's that one right there, cover home. I'll drag that over. And then I'll choose insert media. And now it has that image. We can hit update at the bottom. Go back to our website, hit reload. And it's that easy. Pretty neat, huh? So let's go back to Elementor. And one of the things you might ask yourself is, well, where did I get this image? I will tell you. If you're looking to access the best royalty-free photos and images online at no cost to you, then you'll want to check out my best free stock photos and images video at some point. Or you could simply click on the link at the top right and visit it now. Now, as that promo mentioned, you can basically get almost everything you need for free online. And that's how almost all the art within this website was collected, was to get free images online. So if you're wondering, well, why didn't we just use a free Bethany picture? Well, she decided she didn't want to be the clickbait on everything. So as a compromise, I picked a different picture as the main picture for the website. So now let's make some changes to our website. This text right here, we're going to go ahead and use some of this stuff. I'll click on that widget like that. And on the left-hand side, it's already defaulted to content. And in this box, I want to put welcome to. And then we're going to set some style for that. Typography is basically the font and stuff like that. So we'll click on that. We're going to set the font to Open Sans Condensed. We're going to choose a size of 23. And the weight, which is how bold it is, we'll set to 100. That's what 900 looks like. That's what 600 looks like. And we're just going to use 100. And now let's change this heading right here. So we'll choose that widget. And then on the left, we'll choose content. And we'll type in that. Now, I really didn't want this all the way across. I kind of wanted it to be 2 separate words. So you're going to learn a really neat little piece of code. If you do a less than, the letter B, the letter R, and a greater than, that's literally the only HTML tag you ever need to know. And that tells it to make a line break. And what it did is it put self on one line and tastic on the other. Now we'll go into style, typography. And for the font, I want to use Lendrina Shadow. So we'll choose that. And we'll set the size of that to 122. Look how cool that is. Now, I don't like the line spacing in between that being so big. So if you scroll down, here's the line height. Let's set that to 100. That way they're nice and close. And I want to set the margin to 0. And let's look at what margin is. If we scroll to the top inside of our advanced, we've got margin and we've got padding. Well, I want to set this margin from being 20. I'm going to set it to 0. And notice that it took this space out here. As we go along, we'll see some differences. I'll show you how margin and padding are different. Right now, it would be difficult to tell. But both of those things give you a certain amount of space around whatever the item is. But for now, let's just set that to 0, and we'll discuss margin and padding in depth later. Now for the next line, now we want to change the text in this widget. I'll choose that one. Be the best you. We'll go to Style, Typography, For this one, I want it to be Open Sans Condensed. We'll make this 30. We'll change the weight to 100. And we'll choose a line height of 19. And that just kind of told us how much space we want between this text and this button right here. Now I want to change this View More button to a Learn More button. I'll choose that widget. Under Content, where it says View More, I'll put Learn More. And over here for the link, I'll put About. And now we can hit Update. Go back to the page we're working on. Hit Reload. And wow, look at that. We're making progress. So let's go back to our Elementor. And now I want to add the intro video. But to add the intro video, I first have to add it to the media library. And to add a video, I have to do it outside of Elementor. So I'm going to choose this icon here. And then I'm going to choose Exit to Dashboard. Now I'm going to choose Media. And that takes us to our media library. And this is the same one we're using inside of Elementor. It's just that some things you can load here that you can't load directly into Elementor. And now I'm going to go to our content folder. And I'm looking for our intro video. And there it is. I'm going to take this, drag it to the left. Now that that's loaded, I'm going to select it so that I can get this link over here. And I will copy the URL to the clipboard. And now I can close that. We'll go back to Pages. We can go back to Home, Edit with Elementor. And now we're going to select the section at the top again. We're going to choose Style. But instead of choosing it to be a background, which is just the classic one, we're going to choose this little video choice. And here we can put in a link. So we'll paste our link in there. And look at there. Our animation automatically worked right out of the box. Now it's playing over and over again. Here's an option, play once. We'll turn that on. So that way it'll only play once, and then when it's done, what we see is that there's no background. Then we're like, but it was there. What happened? Well, the reason is now we need to scroll down, and there's a section called Background Fallback. We want to click on that, and we'll choose the image we already uploaded, like so. Hit Insert Media, and now it's there. We can hit Update, and that allows it to have the image that's going to be there after it loads. We'll go back to our page and hit Reload, and watch the animation. But also notice this text is already on the page right there. But on Bethany's site, when you reload, it loads the intro, and then right after the intro finishes, that little menu slides in. Boom. Pretty neat, huh? That's what we want to do. So we'll go back to Elementor. And this is the column we want to set to delay until after the intro video has completed. And so what we're going to do is we're going to choose that column. And now we'll go to Advanced. And under Advanced, one of the options is Motion Effects. And for the motion effect, we want to choose Fade In from the left. And then we're going to set the animation to 8,000. 8,000 milliseconds is 8 seconds, which is a little bit longer than our animation is. So we can go ahead and click Update. Go back to our version of the website, hit Reload. Now the intro shows, and at the end of the intro, slides in the text. Really neat, huh? But you're saying to yourself, Yoda, that's a pretty neat intro, but I have no idea how to make one. I will tell you. If you're looking to make a free video intro for your website online at no cost to you, then you'll want to check out my Make a Free Video Intro video at some point. Now we'll go ahead and go back to our Elementor, and we're going to scroll down, and we're ready to work on this next section. Now in this section, I want to build a category section. Typically, you'd use it if you had services that you wanted to highlight or feature in your website. This particular piece of code right here, I don't need it. So I can right-click on that little icon and choose Delete. And now let's start working on our category section. First, we'll delete this widget right here, and so I can right-click on that little icon and choose Delete. Now for this header right here, I'll select that icon, and over here I'm going to change that title to be that text. And the color we're going to use, if we go to Set Style, we can choose a color, and I want it to be that color. kind of a brownish color. Now to get out of color mode, you just click the tab again, so it kind of toggles it open and close like that. Now for typography, the family I'm going to use. This site pretty much we're going to use Open Sans Condense on a whole bunch of stuff. And the padding around this, so if we go to Advanced, do padding. Again, we'll talk more about this a little bit later. Right now, see this icon? That's linked together, that's linked apart. If they're linked together and you add one, they all add together. And if they're linked apart, if they're not linked, then you change them individually. I want them linked together. That's the default. And I want to put 20 in there. And that puts space around that particular item. Again, don't worry too much about the difference between margin and padding right now. I'll discuss it a little bit later when I have a good example for it. Now I'm also going to delete this widget. I don't need it. And now we're ready to add a widget. We haven't done that yet to your Elementor environment. To add widgets, we have to get to the collection of the widgets. To get to the collection of the widgets, we choose this icon right here. And these are the different widgets we have at our disposal. Notice some of these have locks on them because we don't have access to those. The one we want is the one at the top. It's called Intersection. So I just mentioned we're going to insert the intersection widget. But some students have noticed that sometimes that doesn't come up as one of their options. Instead, they get this container. All that means is that your Elementor is in a different mode, and we need to set it in the correct mode. So if you click to look at your widgets, and it doesn't show the intersection widget there, and you type it in the box, let's say you type enter, and you still don't see the widget there, that means we need to change the mode that your Elementor is in so that we can reveal the intersection widget. To do that, we're going to exit out of Elementor. So we'll click here, we'll choose Exit, and then on the menu on the left, inside of Elementor, you're going to choose Settings, and then we're going to choose the Features tab. You may need to scroll down to get to that, but normally it's on the main page. And now we're going to scroll down, and what we're looking for is an option called Flexbox Container. Notice that I found the Flexbox Container option as shown here, but depending on what version of Elementor you're running, some of you will find the option Flexbox Container as I did, whereas others will see the option simply called Container. And it is this option that determines whether or not you see the intersection widget. And if you weren't seeing the inner widget, it'll either say that Flex Container is active, or it'll say default. Now what we want to do is we're going to choose for the Flex Container, we're going to choose inactive. Are you sure? Yes, deactivate. And now we'll scroll to the bottom, choose Save Changes, and now we'll go back to the page we were editing. And now when I click to get to the widgets, you'll see the intersection option is there. Basically, it allows you to make a section inside of a section. So if you hold down on that with your mouse, you can drag it over and see that little blue line? That's where it's going to land at. It's kind of tricky sometimes to get it to land where you want it. I want it to land under the text. And now I have this new section. Now in this first box, I want to put an image. So we'll go back to our collection of widgets. And here's the image widget. I can drag that over, and again, notice I can choose where it's going to land by moving it around, and I want it in that box right there, just like that. And now I want to set that image to be one of my categories. So on this side over here, I can click on that image, and they're not in here yet. So let's go to our content, and we're looking for categories. And we've got 6 categories. I'm going to select all 6 of those, and I'm going to drag them over all at once to save me some time later. Now they're all loaded. If you click on it, that tells you which one you're going to select, and over here it tells you the particular name of whichever one it is. So in my case, that's my first category I want, so I select that and insert the media. And now we've added an image to our website. Pretty easy, huh? Now what I want to do is show you a trick for reusing widgets. So here, this widget here is a title widget. If I click on that, it says it's a heading. I'm going to right click on that and tell it to duplicate. Now I have a second copy. Now if I move my mouse over the little widget icon edit, I can hold down on it and drag it wherever I want it, and I want to drag it under this picture like that. And then I want to change this text. So I have that one selected already. Come over here and change the title to say Personal Development. I'll go to Style, Typography. In this case, I'm going to change the font. We're going to choose Work Sans. And I'm going to choose a size of 22. And now I want to make a copy of this because I want to be able to reuse the layout that I already have. So just follow me on this. If I wanted to duplicate this picture, I could right-click here and duplicate. But what I want to do is duplicate the whole column. So I'm going to say right-click and duplicate. Now I want another copy. So I'm going to say right-click and duplicate. Now I've got 3 copies. And now on this 4th column, I want to get rid of it. So I can right-click on that and choose Delete. And now I have the 3 that I want. Now at this point, I can right-click on that intersection and choose Duplicate. And now I have 6 of those. So you can see quickly, instead of having to build everything from scratch, we have a lot of the stuff that we're going to want to use already. And now we can customize these. One of the things that I don't like is how much space is around here. So let's choose this one. We'll come over to Advanced. And we're going to set this to 0. Even though that worked for the top title, it didn't work down here. I'll set it to 0. And I'll disconnect these. And then I'm going to set the bottom one to 20 by itself. Now I need to fix all the other ones the same way. I did this on purpose because I wanted you to see how to copy the style. So here we made a style change on this one. So I can right-click on this one, copy it, and when I right-click, instead of pasting it to make a new copy, I'm going to paste the style, and it just fixes the style. And I can do that for each one of these. So you can see that's a neat way to be able to make changes quickly to the style without having to do all the work over and over again. Now, I just need to change out the pictures and the text to match. So to change this one, I choose that image, I come over here, and I pick my second image, hit Insert Media, and then I'm going to choose that text, change the heading over here, and now that one's changed. And then I'm going to do a little magic to get all these to change real quick since you know how to do that. And now they're all changed. Little fun fact, that's a picture of me and Bethany at one of our favorite resorts at our wedding. Now if we click on Update and go back to our website and hit Reload, and you don't have to wait for the intro to load before you start scrolling down, just so you know. And there's our new section. Now in Bethany's, when you hit Reload on it, notice that these things come out to the sides like that. And so we want to do that next. So we'll go back to Elementor. And now we're going to choose this column icon. We'll go to Advanced, Motion Effects. And we want to slide in from the right to the left. So for the animation, we're going to slide in from the right. Then we're going to put the delay at 1,000 milliseconds, which is 1 second. Now we'll right-click on that column, copy, right-click on this column, paste style, and now that one's set. It didn't move, but it did set it. So now we'll come over to this one, select it, Advanced, Motion Effects. We're going to slide this one in from the left, 1,000 milliseconds, which is equal to 1 second. Right-click, copy, right-click, paste style. Now for this one, we'll select it, Advanced, Motion Effects, and in this one, we'll choose Zoom In, again, 1 second. Right-click, copy, right-click, paste style. Now we can update, go back to our website, hit Reload, and notice how those slide in. But let me do it again. Notice how this one is on top. So they're stacked in a different order than I want them. Basically, we want this one and this one to be on the top, and there's an easy way to do that. So go back to Elementor. We already have this one selected. Under Advanced, for Z-axis, we put a number 1, the default 0. That'll make this one sit a little bit higher. And we'll do the same thing here. Advanced. Z-index of 1. We'll hit Update. We'll come up here, hit Reload, and they're coming in exactly the way we want them. Now we're ready to work on our next section. So let's look at Bethany's site. When we scroll down, we're going to make this animation right here, and we'll also learn how to make the background transparent for the umbrella girl. So now let's go to our script, and we're in the inspiration section, and we're going to learn how to make the girl transparent. So first we're going to go to Unsplash, and we're going to do a search for Girl Umbrella Yellow, and there she is. And we can download that if we want. It gets added to our collection in our download folder. And you go to your download folder, you see the picture that's there. Now it's going to be the whole thing. The question is, how do you get just the girl part cropped out? That's a really good question, right? I will tell you. If you're looking to edit photos and images online at no cost to you, then you'll want to check out my How to Edit Photos Online video at some point. So now let's go to our script. Now we want to go to the photo scissors. This is a website that allows you to crop a picture. And it says upload an image. Show you how easy it is. Here's my images. There's the one we're interested in. Click open. Uploads the picture. Notice that it cropped the girl out, no problem. You can take this and go like that. Now, obviously, I made a mirror image of this, but it gives you generally the idea of what you're trying to do. And then you can choose download, download low resolution. The low resolution is fine for what you want to do. And you can go back to your Elementor. And we scroll down. So now that we've successfully made our umbrella girl have a transparent background, we're ready to start on our inspirational section and then add her to it. The first thing I'm going to do is going to change this background. So we're going to click on this, and it's called an intersection, this one right here. See how there's an intersection is there and a main section is there. We want to be on the intersection. We want to be on that section there specifically. And then we'll go to Style, and then we'll click on the picture. And now we need to upload a picture, and we want to go to our inspirational pictures. So here's our content, and scroll until we get there where they are, our inspirational pictures. And there's the background I want. Drag that over. Hit Insert. Now, we want this to be center for the position. It already is, but check that to make sure. Instead of size cover, let's change it to contained. And now, in this intersection, there's two columns, a left and a right. If you grab the edge in between, you can slide it left and right and make it change its size and get it roughly to 40% on the left and 50 or 60% on the right. You can also choose the column and then specifically put it to 40. That's a little easier, and the other one by default will be the difference. Now let's add the girl. We'll go up here to where we can pick from our widgets. We'll drag over an image, and then we'll add our image. So we'll go back to our content folder, and there's our transparent girl that we created. Drag that over. We hit Insert. Now her image has been added. So from here, we're going to choose Advanced. And I want to put some padding at the top, so let's say 200. That moves her down a little bit. And then we're going to go into the motion effects. Default. Let's fade her in from the left. And let's give it 1,000 milliseconds or a 1 second delay for bringing her in like that. And let's let it come in a little more slowly, just because we can. Ta-da! There we go. Now we can just hit Update, just out of curiosity. It's nice to see our work sometimes. Come over here. We'll hit Reload. And there she is. We're making progress. Back to Elementor. We're going to choose our Section tab right here to edit the section itself. And then we're going to go to Style. And see that background's white. We're going to change it to one of the darker cyan looking colors. And now we're going to go to Advanced and change this from 0 to 35 and change that 100 to 0. And Bethany's, you see this little wave brush thing going on right here? We want to add that. So let's go ahead. It turns out being at the bottom of the section above. So we got to scroll up, choose that section, then go to Style, and then we're looking for Shape Divider. We're going to add the shape divider at the bottom, and the type of shape divider we're going to use is Waves Brush. So we scroll down and you see that's what it looks like. And there's lots of different ones you can choose from. It's worth checking them all out to try different stuff. In this case, we're going to use the Waves Brush. And then we're going to set the color to that same blue that's in the section down here. See how it matches now? And then we're going to set the height to 60. There's a lot of extra space right here. So I want to come back up here. We still have that selected. We'll go to Advanced. And we're going to change that from 200 to 100. So that brings it in some. And this itself will adjust itself out a little bit to bring that down in a second to make it look more correct. Now over here, this particular header, this widget, we're going to drag it below the other one like that. And then this one we're not going to need. So let's delete that one. And then this button, obviously we can make a button, but I want to show you how you can recycle stuff. So I'm going to take this button and I'm going to bring it down here and I'm going to put it right there because we can just use it there and make it work for us. And it saves us the trouble of making one. I'll come back up. Now let's work on this first header here, the bigger one. And let's make that say, Be Inspired. And we'll go to Style. We'll set the color to be white. And we'll close the color out. We'll go into Typography. I'm going to choose a font of Montserrat. We'll make it 80. And make the thickness be 700. Now the margin for our header, we go up here. We'll click on Margin. And we disconnected those right there. It's going to be 29. And basically that just allows that to sit a little bit lower. And so for this text, if we choose that widget, we'll change the text to Live Your Best Life. Good advice. Click on Style. Color is white. Close that. Go into Typography. Font. Laura. We'll make this one 40. And we'll make the weight 500. And now below this, we want to do an image carousel. And so we need to go up here and choose this icon that displays all of our widgets. Now the one we want is called an image carousel, but instead of scrolling down looking for it, we type the word image. It'll bring up all the ones that have that in common. There's the image carousel. We can drag that over. That puts it above the words. That puts it below the words where we want it. I can choose that. Now we need our inspirational pictures. So we'll bring up our content. These are our 6 inspirational images. Drag those over. Now they're loaded. We can just click Create a New Gallery and Insert Gallery. Now it's got 3 of them there for now. We're going to tell this to be large. And we're going to tell it to put 1 per slide. And we're going to say image stretch equals yes. And that looks about right. Now, notice that it has these dots here, and it has these left-right arrows. So you can have navigation built into the carousel. I don't want that for this particular carousel. So under navigation, I'm going to tell it none. And that gets rid of the arrows and the dots. And then down here under additional options, pause on hover. That means if I put the mouse over it, it stops showing new pictures. Well, that might be nice in some situations, but I want it to continue to show new pictures whether the mouse is on it or not. So we're going to turn that off. Our animation speed, let's set that to 4,000. And we'll change this from being a slider to fading. And now it'll fade in between the different pictures, like that. And now, you see when we added this stuff in there, this wave sits exactly where we needed it to sit, which is really nice. So let's go ahead and hit Update. We'll go back to our page, hit Reload, and look at that. Our inspired section is really working well. So now we want to work on our call to action section. These little sections that have like an icon, some text, and a button, they're called call to action. Let's go back over here. The first thing I want to do, this is an inner widget, so we got to drag it. I want to bring it down to this next section, into the light blue section. And then this logo bar right here, this logo carousel, I can right click and delete that. I no longer need that. And now we want to build out our call to action section. And the first thing we'll do is put our little brush divider here, but we'll put it at the top of this section so you can see how you can do it either way. So I have that section selected. I go to Style, Shape Divider. It's going to be on the top this time. Click there. Waves Brush. Pick the same color as this color right here. Like that. Close that out. Set the height of it to 60. And we've got that part done. And so let's start to format this. I'm going to click on that column and we're going to choose Advanced. And where this says 025, 025, I'm going to just change it to 020, 020, just a little less space on that. Don't waste so much space. Then we're going to choose this icon widget, and we're going to go to Style, and I'm going to set the color a little bit darker. And then for the header, we'll also go in, set the color to the same color, close that out, and then typography, we will pick Montserrat. We'll make it 32 tall and a weight of 300. And then for the text section, we'll choose that widget. And I want to go into Style, and I'm going to use a special kind of alignment. Normally, if you got left, center, right, I'm going to use Justified, and I'll square things off. It looks a little weird with this sample text. When we put real text in there, it'll look a little bit better. And then we'll go into typography and a different font. Railway, we'll make this 21 and a weight of 200. And then the color for this will be the same color we used for the icon in the header. So everything kind of matches. And I'm going to choose, right click on that icon and choose copy, right, paste style, right, paste style. And on this header, right, copy, right click, paste style, right click, paste style. And for the text box, right click, copy, right click, paste style, right click, paste style. Now for our button, I'm going to choose the button, then go into Style, and we're going to change the button color to that. Not much different. And then when you move over the mouse, we want it to grow a little bit. So what we're going to do is we're going to choose the hover option. And then on hover, the animation, we just want it to grow. Look at that. Pow. Now, right click, copy. Right click, paste. Right click, paste. Bring it over. Bring it over. Many ways you could have done that. Just showing you a different way. Now, we see that there's content in these, but it needs to be changed, obviously. So let's go ahead and change the icons first. So I'll click on that icon, go to Content, choose here, and I can search. I want to do a heart icon. So we'll choose that one. And now for this one, we'll choose that icon. You don't always have to click the little box. I try to get in the habit because I know that works better. Come back over here. Come up over here. We'll look at comments. We'll pick that one. Insert. And then we'll choose the last one. Come back over here, question. We'll choose the first one, insert. And now, since you know how to change the text on these, I'll just use a little magic to make those happen. Okay, that updated the text, but I wanted to do the buttons together because we hadn't had as much practice with that. So we'll choose the first button, come over here on the left, and this one will be Learn More, and we'll point that to our About page. The second one, we'll say Contact Me, and we'll send them to our Contact page. And the last one, we'll say Tips Here, and we'll send it to our PayPal page. Let's hit Update, go back over, let's reload the page, scroll down, and it's looking a lot better. But let's add some animation to this. So we'll come back in here, choose column 1, go to Advanced, Motion Effects, Fade from the left, take this one, Advanced, Motion Effects, Fade from the right, choose this one, Advanced, Motion, and we'll zoom that one in, just like that. We'll hit Update, and we'll reload. Looks pretty good. All right, so on Bethany's site, the next one we're going to do is this Words of Wisdom section. And ours does not look anything like that right now. We'll come back over here. And to do the Words of Wisdom section, we're going to do a carousel. And we're going to go ahead and insert a new section above this, just so you can see how to insert sections in between. So I'll click right there. Now we have a new section. And I'll click on the plus sign. I just need this to be one column. And I will choose that section. I'll go to Style. And we're going to set the section color to white. Now I'm going to scroll to the top. And I'm going to right click on that header and copy it. Just another way of showing you how to recycle stuff. Come back down here, right click and paste it. And now for the text, we'll change it to say Words of Wisdom. And now we're going to go to our collection of widgets. And we'll type the word image again to find the carousel. We'll be using the carousel differently this time. We'll click on here to add pictures to our carousel. We'll bring up our content and we're looking for Words of Wisdom. And there they are. So we'll select all those, drag them over all at once. We'll click on Create a New Gallery. We'll click Insert Gallery. For the image size, we'll choose Full, so we can see the whole word. Slides to show, let's say 5. We want to scroll one at a time. I don't want any navigation. Now we'll look in the Advanced section. Again, I don't want to stop the animation if I hover over it. I only want about 500 milliseconds in between. That's half a second. And I want to slow that down, so it's going to do it slower. That's nice, just like that. We'll hit Update. Go back to our page, hit Reload. And we're making progress. So we're going to go back over to Elementor. And I don't really like the spacing here. Let's come back into Advanced for that widget. I'll put zeros in there. Disconnect them. I want 70 from the top because we're going to put a brush wave thing here. But I want these closer. Now what's interesting is that if I do a margin, I can do a negative margin on that. And look how it brings it up. So we'll take that negative margin to 25. For all practical purposes, that's the main difference between padding and margin in most cases. We'll see some other examples as well. But with margin, you can bring things closer together by using a negative number instead of a positive number. So we want to put our brush divider right here. We got to choose the section first. And then we'll click on the shape divider. And it's going to go at the top. And it's going to be our waves. And our color is going to be that same color. We'll close the color. We didn't pick the right waves, did we? Waves brush. We'll change it to 60. And that's looking pretty good. We can hit update. Now, since I know we're going to want to reuse the Words of Wisdom section, I want to go ahead and save it as a template now so we can use it later. So I'll go ahead and go up here. We can right-click, choose Save as Template. We'll give it a name. Choose Save. Now that we've saved our Words of Wisdom section as a template, we'll be able to reuse that at any other page in our website. So let's go ahead and close this window. Come back over here. Reload. And that's looking pretty good. Now we'll look at Bethany's website again. Our next section we're going to do is this practical advice section. Again, we'll utilize a transparent image slider. So let's go ahead and go back to our page. Now the next section of the website is a testimonial section. Bethany's website does not need a testimonial section, but you might need one for your website. So one of the things you might consider is to leave this the way it is. Or you potentially could come up here, copy this button, come down here, paste the button, and then change this to say more testimonials. And you could have a page of testimonials, and in fact, the default site also has a testimonials page, so you could point to that and repurpose it and have a testimonials page for yourself. So since Bethany's website doesn't need testimonials, I'm going to delete this section. We're also not going to use a latest product section here, so I'm going to delete that section. And then I'm going to click the plus sign so I can make a new section in between. And then we'll click the plus. We want this to have 2 columns. Under layout, instead of content width boxed, we're going to say full width. And then the left column, we're going to make it 55, which makes the one over there 45. I'm going to choose that section. It's already chosen, but choose Style. And we're going to add a background. So we'll click on the Background Classic. Click there. Now we need to get our correct image for this. So we'll go back to our content. And there's the Practical Advice Beach. We'll drag that in. Insert Media. And now we have our beach scene in there. The positioning we're going to use is going to be top center. And the size is going to be cover. I know you can't see anything yet, but it will reveal itself. Now in the left box, we're going to put an image. Let's drag an image in there like that. And then we're going to put the image into the image widget. Go to our content, and then we want the Q&A image this time. Drag that over. Insert media. And now for this left column, I'm going to go in advance and we're going to set some padding. And we'll turn that to 90 on the top and 40 on the bottom. And then we're going to copy the Words of Wisdom heading. And then we'll come back down here and right click and paste it. That'll save us from some of the setup for that. And we'll go into Style. We'll set the color to black, and we're going to change the height of that to 50. And then below that, we're going to add a widget. If we type the word test, brings up testimonial. We'll put that under it. And it's kind of like an all-in-one widget. It has some text and a picture and stuff like that in it. And for the image, we're going to put a profile picture for Bethany. And there is the Practical Advice profile picture. We'll drag that over. Insert. And for the content, we're just going to put questions and answers from Quora. We'll put her pin name of Pepper Lowe. And positioning, we'll choose top. And then we'll go back to the top and look in Style. Under Image, we'll set a size of 115 for the image size. For the content style, we're going to go into Typography. And we'll choose Droid Arabic 24. And we'll set the color to that. And for the name, we'll go into typography. And we'll pick Open Sans Condensed. And we'll make it 30. And we'll set the color to that. Make it a little easier to see on the sand. And we'll go back where it has Title, Designer. We're not going to put that at all. We'll just take that out. Now on the right-hand side, we're going to choose that column, and we're going to tell the vertical alignment to be at the bottom. That way when the picture slides in, it'll be sliding in at the bottom. And then we're going into Advanced. And even though these look like they have no value at all, I'm going to open those up and make sure they all say 0. And now we're going to add our image to the right column. So we come up here, choose our image widget, choose our image, go to our content folder. There's the transparent Bethany. She's very transparent, very genuine, great person. Got that. Size, full, align left. And if we go into style, we can set the width to 400. That does not look right. The default was percentage. We wanted pixels. 400. See, it happens to me too. Murphy's Law. I hate that guy. We'll go into Advanced, Motion. We're going to fade in from the right. We're going to fade in slowly from the right. And we're going to wait 1,000 milliseconds, 1 second to do that. We can hit Update. We'll come back to our page. We'll hit Reload. Look at that. We got it working. Now, I don't really like all this extra space here. So let's go back and fix that. And that's because the Words of Wisdom had extra space when we made a copy from the other header. So we'll go into Advanced. And we'll change this to 0. And that looks pretty good. We can update. And then where it has the name here for Bethany inside of this widget, let's go ahead and make a link to contact. We'll hit Update. Reload. And that looks much better. So next we need to set up the email list sign-up form so we can collect email addresses from our website visitors. I'd like to point out that the collecting of email addresses is by far the most underrated website feature, and yet the most effective free method of generating new sales. You will be shocked to see how quickly your email list can grow, which in turn causes your sales to grow. For example, Bethany collects up to 80 new email addresses a month from the website we're building in this course today, which that works out to nearly 1,000 new subscribers in the first year alone. But you're saying to yourself, hey Yoda, what am I going to do with a whole bunch of email addresses? I will tell you. If you're looking to add an email marketing campaign to your WordPress website or shopping cart at absolutely no cost to you, then you'll want to check out my Email Marketing for Beginners tutorial. Now we want to do the sign up, and that's pretty straightforward. If we look at the one over here, we just basically changed the text out because everything else was okay for our needs. So I'll come back over here, and we're going to change this text out. So we'll click on that. Come over here, paste that in. Notice I had BR tag to allow this to break in the middle. And now I'm going to choose alignment right. I can make it look exactly like I want it to look. Now over here, if you click on this widget, it shows this shortcode form. This is not the way to do this. There's a better way to do this. So we're going to delete that widget. And you're like, but it was fine, it worked. Well, maybe, but we want to do it more correctly. If we type in this box, WP Forms, we come up with two choices. This is the one from the company itself, WP Forms. We'll drag that in the box. Now over here, or over here, we can select the form. So we'll go in here. We want to choose Sign Up Form. And now it looks the same, but it's more correct. Now when we build our contact page, it'll also have a form like this, and we'll be able to set both of those to point to your email address at the same time. So we won't worry about making that update just yet. So we hit update, come up here, hit reload, and that's ready to go. And I forgot one last thing. This wasn't supposed to continue to say words of wisdom. It was supposed to say practical advice. So I'll hit update, and that'll be fixed. So now we're ready to build a footer for our website, and our footer will be the same on every page. So let's go ahead and go back to Elementor. And now we're going to have to exit to the dashboard. So we'll click there, exit to dashboard. The first thing we're going to do is remove the footer that came with the website. Then we're going to replace it with one that's much better. So the first thing we're going to do is click on Appearance, Customize, Footer Builder, and then we're going to delete all the fields that are here. Now we'll hit Publish, and we can exit out of that. Now we're back at our dashboard. Now under Appearance, we're going to go to Elementor Header and Footer Builder. We're going to choose Add New, Intermediate for myself, or just choose Skip. The title is going to be Website Footer. The type is going to be Footer. Choose. It makes sense to display on all pages, but really what we want is the entire website. So don't make that mistake. All pages doesn't include posts, so anytime you posted something to your blog, it wouldn't show up there. So you want to choose entire website, and that'll mean it'll show up on all pages, all posts, everywhere. Scroll down, User Rules, All. We'll check that box to enable for Elementor. Choose Publish. Now we'll edit with Elementor. And now we're ready to build our footer. You're saying to yourself, but Yoda, I just saw what the footer looked like. Why should I have to do it all the way? You're correct. I will show you. We're going to build it using a template. So we're going to click on our folder. We're going to choose this little icon here, which imports a template. And now we're going to go to our content folder. And at the bottom are a whole bunch of templates. And one of those is the website footer. We'll drag that over. Now we have a website footer. We can insert the footer, and it automatically loads it in exactly what you need it to say. Obviously, you change this to be whatever content you need, whatever image you need, but it's already set up, easy to use just like that. Now, if you're going to have a shopping cart, you might want to change this one over here. It says About. You could change it to Shop. You could also have more, but I didn't really want more. And we can put Shop there. And now it'll go to the shop when we get ready to do that. Hit Update. Come back over here. Hit Reload. Scroll to the bottom. We already have a footer. It's just that easy. So now our home page is totally complete. Okay, so it's not totally complete. What it's totally complete on is your desktop. What we need to do is to optimize it for a mobile as well, and then you can apply that to tablet too. Now to make other device adjustments, first of all, we click down here on the responsive mode. And then at that point, you can choose between the different views that you're seeing. And we're just going to focus on the mobile version, and you can apply what you learn here to all your other pages and your tablet. So we'll choose the mobile device. And notice this wrap's funny. So we'll choose that. We'll go into Style. And for the size, let's just set that to 100. Now that works. Also, the website intro videos aren't typically compatible with mobile devices. So if you find that your video intro is not working on a mobile device, rest assured it's not your fault. So let's scroll down. Now I want to change the padding on this a little bit. And if you go to the bottom of that section, I can change it here as well. So we'll choose the section, and we'll go into Advanced, and we'll set that to 40/20, 40/20. And then for this text, I want to make that just a tiny bit bigger. So I can select that text, go to Style, Typography, and we'll choose 26. Now when you scroll to the bottom of this section, you notice how the wave is really tall? We don't want the waves to be that tall on the mobile device, so we're going to change that. This particular wave is at the bottom of this section. So we'll choose that section. We'll go to Style, Shape Divider. We know it's at the bottom. And we'll go ahead and set that to 30. Now we scroll down. See, that looks good. Now while we're already in that mode, let's scroll down and do the other ones. So we'll choose that one, Style, Shape Divider, 30. See if I missed any. Yeah, I missed that one. Select that section, Style, Shape Divider, height 30. Okay. Now all this looks pretty good, so we'll leave that alone. However, this isn't working out. It's got too much space up here. And she kind of takes the whole screen. So we'll choose the Umbrella Girl. And we'll go into Advanced. We'll do 60 at the top. We'll unconnect that. We'll do 30 on the left. And we'll do 30 on the right. At the bottom, we'll do 0. Now we want to work on this piece to bring it up a little bit and make it smaller. So the first thing we'll do is work on the padding for that column. So we'll choose the column, choose Advanced. Now notice these have the little phone next to it. This means we're only editing the phone version. I'll type 10. We'll select the Be Inspired. Go to Style, Typography. We'll set the font to 40. It's still wrapping, so let's move it down. Now it doesn't wrap. So now it's at 38. Now that's a little bit close at the top. So let's go ahead and go back into our padding on that. We'll disconnect these. And let's set the padding at the top to say 30. Now we want to adjust this font. So we'll select that. We'll go to Style, Typography, and we'll set the size to 28. And now there's too much space below Be Inspired. So we'll choose that. We'll go to Advanced. Change this to 0. Brings that up. And that looks real good now. So we'll scroll down. There's not enough spacing at the bottom of that wave. So we can choose that column. And at the bottom, let's try 50. There, that looks better. Now for the About Me, the spacing looks okay. But look how close that one is. So we're going to choose the icon. And we'll go to Advanced. And then for the margin at the top, we'll put 60. And that looks good. Same thing with this one. We'll select the icon, go to Advanced, and set the top one to 60. Now for the Words of Wisdom, that's a little small, so I'll click on that, choose Style, Typography. Let's try a size of 40. That worked out good. Now this section here really doesn't work really well. Look at the text, how it fits in there funny, and it's the wrong color. And I wasn't able to find a way to make this work well that made any sense. But it's a good chance to see another feature. And that is, we're going to select that section. We'll go to Advanced. And under Responsive, we're going to hide that section on mobile. Now you can hide a section, you can hide a column, and you can hide a widget. So you have that flexibility. In this case, we're just hiding the whole section. Now we'll scroll down. This particular piece of text here, let's go ahead and choose that. And let's center it. There's no way to center this any easy way, unfortunately. And that should do it. Now what you can do is you can click this little tab right here. And this gives you an idea of what it's going to look like on a mobile device. So you scroll up and you see, is there anything else I want to change about this? But it looks pretty good. So we can bring that back out. Choose Update. And the mobile updates to our home page are now complete. So now our home page is totally complete. And we've accomplished a lot in a small amount of time. So I'm going to go back to my Elementor. I'm going to exit Elementor. And now that I've personally completed a substantial amount of work, I'm going to use my backup buddy. Again, if you have another method of backing up, it's a good time to do it. I'm going to choose Create Backup. I'm going to choose Complete Backup. Let it do its thing. By the way, if you end up watching my WordPress Backups video, you'll see that Backup Buddy has been rebranded as Solid Backups. This is because the Backup Buddy product was acquired by Solid WP, but the product still works the same. Now the backup is complete. Come back up, download the backup to my computer, That is complete. And now I have the most recent backup of everything that I've done so far. So if anything goes wrong, I can at least get back to where I am right now. So now we're ready to start on our next page. So we'll go back to our dashboard. And we're ready to start on our About Us page. And let's go ahead and close this down here. We're going to go to Pages. We'll hover over About and choose Edit with Elementor. Now that our About page is loaded in Elementor, let's go ahead and go back to Bethany's site and see what her About page looks like. So I'll scroll to the top, click on About, and we're going to build this nice header. We're going to put some text in that's going to wrap around a picture, and we're going to put that background that has self-tastic in it. Let's go ahead and go back to Elementor. The first thing we'll do is update the background picture for the About section. So we'll choose that section. Go to Style, choose the image. Now we need to bring up our content folder, scroll to the top, and now we're looking for our header images. So we'll scroll down, and there they are. And the one that we want at this point is going to be the About header, so we'll drag that over. Now that's loaded, we can insert media. Notice there's some shading on this image. We're going to do some shading ourselves, but it's only going to be enough to shade the top so that the menu shows through a little bit better, and I'll show you how that works. We're going to go to the Background Overlay section, and these are the two colors that are associated in here. We'll choose the first color. We'll set it to that, and I'll close that. And I'm going to start with a location of 0, which is the top edge up here. And then I'll go to the second color, paste that in. Now, if you're interested, where am I getting these particular colors from? I'm getting them from the About Us content in case you want to do the same thing. So now I can close that. And notice how it's light at the top and it goes dark to the bottom. If I change this angle to 180, it turns it upside down. Now it's a little bit dark at the top and light at the bottom. And then for the bottom location, I'm just going to change it to 24 because I only want it to come down a certain amount of space. Now if I click on Update, and we go back to our site and view it, scroll to the top, click on About. Notice there's a little bit of shading here. It made our menu show up just a tiny bit better, and that's what we were looking for. So let's go back to Elementor, and now let's work on the header. So we'll select that. We'll make the Align Left. We'll go into Style. Let's set the color to white. It already is white, but just in case. We'll go into Typography. We'll set the font to Lendrina Shadow, size 90, and then we'll go into Advanced. We'll open up our padding, and let's set this to 150. That pushes that down just nicely like that. We can hit Update. And now if we look at Bethany's, you'll see there's a little bit of a shape divider here. We're going to add that same effect using that same cyan color. We'll go back to our Elementor. Let's go ahead and choose that section. And now we're going to scroll down, choose Shape Divider, and we're going to apply it to the bottom. And we're going to select Tilt Opacity, and then we'll set the color. Update. Reload our page. And there it is. We're going to end up using this header on a lot of pages, so what I want to do next is save this as a template. So let's go back to Elementor. We'll right-click, choose Save as Template. Give the template a name. Hit Save. Our template has been saved. So now we can close that window. And now we want to work on the next section. So the first thing we'll do is choose that section. Go to Style. We'll set the background color. And then we're going to set a background overlay. Notice that there's something in the background already. We'll choose Background Overlay. There's the current one. We'll choose that. Bring up our content folder. Now we need to find our logo background overlay. So we'll scroll down to our logo section. And there it is. We'll drag it over. Now it's loaded. Insert media. We're going to choose ours to be top left. And we'll leave it at fixed. We'll leave it at no repeat. Our size will be covered. And we'll set our opacity to 0.05 so we can see it a little bit better. So now you can see that shows in the background, but it doesn't get in the way of the text. Now I want to adjust the padding for this section. So we'll scroll back to the top, go to Advanced. Let's just make this 100 at the top, 100 at the bottom. We're not going to use any of their content, but we do need one cell. I'm just going to take this one and delete that column. And then I'm going to scroll down. And I'll delete this section. And I'll delete this section. And now we're left with the one section we need. And then I will delete that widget. And I'll delete that widget. And I'll delete that widget. And I'll delete that intersection. So now basically we have a header, a heading, and we have a text editor. Now alternatively, you could come over here and you could have dragged the heading over and you could have dragged the text editor over it as well. So we'll select the heading and we want that to say about me. And we want to go to Style. We're going to set the typography. The font will be Montserrat 32, a weight of 300. Now we actually have two of these. We only need one. I'll delete that one. We're going to edit the other text editor, so I select that. We'll come back in here to Style. We'll choose a color of that. Typography. We'll set the font to Railway. Size to 21. Weight to 400. Now we'll go back to Content. And I'll paste in the correct content. And now we want an image over here to the right. And to do that, we're going to click on Add Media. And now we need to get the item that we're going to be adding. So let's go to our Content folder. Scroll to the top. And there is the About picture. We'll drag that over. It's loaded. Insert into Post. And it's at the bottom, but we don't want that there. So let me click on that and delete it. And I'll show you what I really wanted to do. I wanted to scroll to the top, select right there so I can set it in there. Choose Add Media. Select the image. Insert. Now it's inserted at the top. We need a few more adjustments here. So we'll select the image. This icon here will align it to the right. So now all of a sudden the text wraps around it nicely. We'll click the pencil. For the size, I'm going to choose full size. If you wanted to add a link, you could add it there. We'll do Update. And it wraps nicely. Let's hit Update. Go back to our page. Hit Reload. And we're making progress. Now on Bethany's page, she's got the Words of Wisdom section. So let's go back to our Elementor. We'll scroll down. We'll choose the folder icon. We'll choose the Words of Wisdom section. Click on Insert. I always choose No on this question. Now it's been inserted into our page. We can hit Update. Go back to our page. Hit Reload. And now we just need to add the black waves brush above the footer. We can go back to Elementor. So Words of Wisdom is already selected. We'll go to Style. Scroll down. Shape Divider. We're going to put it at the bottom. We're going to choose Waves Brush. We'll set the color. We'll set the height to 60. And notice this is overlaying funny right here. It's okay. Advanced. We'll unconnect those. And let's see what 50 does. Looks just right. So we can hit on Update. Go back to our page. Hit Reload. And this page is complete. Now inadvertently, even though I told this font to be Railway, somehow it got saved as default. So we need to choose this widget. Go to Style. Typography, and where it says Default, we'll choose Railway, and notice how it changed there. We'll do Update. We'll go back to our page, and now see it's the old font here. We hit Reload. Now it's the correct font, Now we go back to Elementor, and we can exit Elementor and go back to our dashboard. So let's go ahead and go back to Pages. And now that we've made the About page, I want to make some duplicates of that page so that I can use them later. So I'm going to go over and hover over About, choose Duplicate. Now here's our duplicate. I'm going to choose Quick Edit. The title for this page will be Gallery. The slug name will also be Gallery. Status, Published. A few students have found that the Publish option is missing from their pull-down menu. If this happens to you, simply choose the Draft option, which is also the default, and we can later publish your pages from within Elementor. Hit Update. Now we'll make another duplicate for our blog page. Again, we'll hover over the duplicate, choose Quick Edit. This one will be called Blog. Slug name Blog. Published. Hit Update. And we're going to make one more copy, and we're going to make a services page. Even though Bethany's site doesn't need a services page, yours might. So we're going to make a services page for you in case you need one. So we'll go to duplicate this. And again, hover over that. So we can choose Quick Edit. Title equals Services. Slug name equals Services. Status is Published. Hit Update. And that should be all the duplicate pages we'll need for a while. And now if we go back to Bethany's site, scroll to the top, you can see these are the different items she has. We want to go ahead and make our menu match hers. So let's go back to our dashboard. We're going to choose Appearance. We're going to choose Menus. Make sure we're pointing at the primary menu still. And this is what our menu looks like right now. We're not going to need a testimonial for her site, but if you need one, you'll leave it. So I'm going to take that one out. Also, you can decide whether or not to leave a home button. On many websites these days, the logo itself is clickable, so you don't really need a home button, so it's kind of up to you whether you want one or not. I'm going to leave ours there for now. Now for Bethany's website, it needs a blog, it needs a gallery. You might add services if you're going to add the services page that we're going to create. We'll choose Add to Menu. And now you can drag these around to organize them. So I want the gallery to be here. And I want the blog to be here. Scroll down. Save changes. Changes saved. And now we're going to quickly build a services page in case you need one for your website. So we're going to go to Pages. So we're going to scroll down. Hover over Services. Edit with Elementor. And there's our copy of our About page. And what we're going to do is delete every single widget here. And then we're going to choose the folder. And then we're going to import a template. And we'll go back to our content folder. Scroll down to the templates. Here's our services page. Drag that over. And here's our complete services page. We'll choose Insert. I'll always choose No. And look at there. You have a complete services page. You can make updates and changes to that yourself. We'll hit Update. Your services page is complete. We'll exit to the dashboard. And now we're ready to work on our gallery page. So let's go back to Pages. We'll hover over Gallery. Choose Edit with Elementor. See how nice it is to start with a page that already has a lot done for us? So we'll go ahead and change that text to Gallery. Let's change our background, have a different background for the gallery. Select that section so we can change the background image. We'll go to Style, click on that. Now we need to load the correct header, so let's go to our content folder. Scroll down to Headers. And there's the gallery header. Drag that over. Choose Insert Media. Our header is complete. Now we want to work on the next section. And we're going to go ahead and delete this header. And delete that text editor. And the first thing I'm going to do is show you the free gallery. So we'll come up here, choose, type in gallery, and there's the basic gallery. Drag that in. Now we want to add pictures to the gallery. We need to go back to our content folder, and here's our gallery pictures. We'll choose that one, hold down Shift, and choose that one so they're all selected. We'll drag them all over at once and let them all load at the same time. They're all loaded, and by default they're all selected, so we can create new gallery. You could reorganize these if you wanted to. And then we'll choose Insert Gallery. And there's our gallery. We'll scroll down. We'll set our image size to medium. Columns 4. Let's hit Update. Let's go back to our page. Scroll to the top. Let's see what that looks like. We need to hit Reload because our menu is not there yet, our new menu. Here's our new menu. Choose Gallery. And there's our gallery. So we can see this is a nice looking gallery. And not bad. It's also a lightbox gallery. So we click on that. But it's just not as fancy as the one that Bethany has if we go to her gallery. See how nicely those load in like that? Now at our gallery, if we made all these pictures the same size, it would make it look a lot better than it does. And that's basically as good as you're going to be able to do for a free plugin at this point. But in my case, I'm going to want to go ahead and go back to Elementor. And I'm going to upgrade to Elementor Pro so you can see how to use the Pro version of the gallery. Now that upgrade is complete, I'm going to delete the current gallery. I'm going to come over here, type in gallery. And we want this one. It's just called gallery, but it ought to be called super fancy gallery. Choose that. We want to pick our pictures. They're already loaded from before, so we'll just select them all. Create gallery. Again, you could switch these around however you want to organize them. Insert gallery. And now, see, it automatically made things fit nice together like a puzzle. But we're going to scroll down, and the layout type we're going to do is masonry. Look at that. And we'll use 4 columns, that's the default. We can choose Update. Now let's go review our page again. We'll hit Reload. And I just like that a lot better. Obviously it's up to you, but for me, between that and the other things I can do with Elementor Pro, it was worth it for me. If you decide you want to get the Pro version of Elementor at the best possible price, just go to WebYoda.com/Elementor and choose the Elementor Pro button. So our gallery page is complete. So we can go ahead and exit to the dashboard. To blog or not to blog, that is the question at this point. There's many reasons to have a really good blog on your website, and there's people who just don't need a blog. If your website doesn't need a blog, you can remove the blog button from your menu bar and go ahead and proceed to the Contact Us section. For the rest of us, we're going to go ahead and create a blog. So the first step in adding a blog to your website is to create a header for all of your blog posts, as well as a header for your blog page that contains all your posts. So let's go ahead and go to Appearance, and then we'll go to Elementor Header Footer. First, we'll create a header for your blog page, the page that contains a list of all your posts. So the title will be Blog Page Header. Template type will be a header. And where do we want it to display? We want it to display on our blog post page. User roles, all. We'll enable this for Elementor. We'll publish. Choose Edit with Elementor. I'm providing a template for both the blog page header and the blog post header. So let's go ahead and click on the folder. We're going to choose the upload arrow. Bring up our content folder. Scroll down to the templates. And there's our blog page header. We'll drag that over. And there's our blog page header. We'll go ahead and insert. I'll always choose no. And there's our blog page header. Obviously, you'd change this out to be whatever you needed it to be. We'll choose Update, exit Elementor. Now we want to create our blog post header, so we'll choose Add New. We'll set the title to Blog Post Header. Template type, header, display on all posts, user rules, all, enable for Elementor, choose Publish, edit with Elementor. Now we're in Elementor. We'll choose the folder. We're going to choose the upload arrow. Again, go back to our content folder. Now we're going to choose the blog post header, which is this one. Drag that over. And there's our blog post header. Go ahead and insert that. Always choose no. Again, make whatever changes you want here. We'll choose Update. Exit Elementor. And now your header for your blog page and your blog post is complete. So the next step to adding a blog to our website is to remove any old posts. So let's go ahead and choose Posts on the left. So now we can select all the posts, in this case 1. Bulk actions, move to trash, apply, and that's all gone. Now we're ready to add our first post. So we're going to choose Add New. Let's visit the script for a second. I want to point out how helpful it is to have all the information you're going to need to do your post. Obviously, you're not likely to just make these up as you go along, so I collected all the information for the different posts we're going to do to make this easier. So for example, the title of the first post will be this. So we'll set the title to that. And now for the content, paste that in. And notice at the top, this is already bold, because in the Google Doc I did, it was already bold, so it allowed me to import some of the formatting as well. Blog posts are organized into categories, so over here we want to add a category. In this case, this particular post is a Life Lessons. So I'll add Life Lessons, hit Enter, and it automatically checked it. Now if you don't give it a category, it'll automatically use Uncategorized. Next, we'll add tags for this particular post. I'll hit Add. And these are basically like keywords that are associated with the post. I also want to point out, if you need to make changes or adjustments to your categories or tags, under Posts, Categories and Tags allow you to make those updates and changes. Scroll down. Now we want to add a featured image. I'm going to choose Set Featured Image. We want to bring up our content folder again. And the images for blog will be near the top. So there's our first blog, and there's our 6. We're going to have 6 in this example. Drag those over. And our first blog is the puppy. Set featured image. Now I normally make my blog images about 800 pixels across, just as a reference. Now we can scroll up and choose Publish. Now if I want to see this post, just as an example, I can right-click on this link and open in a new tab. And we can look at that tab. And there's that header we made. And this is the post. Just like that. Not bad, huh? Let's go ahead and close that. Now we're going to add one more post together. So I'll click Add New. And then the other 4, we'll use some magic to make those, since it's all the same process. So the second blog post, the title is that. The content for the post is that. This one's going to have multiple categories. So we'll choose the Life Lessons. We'll add a new one. Hit Enter. This will also have mental health, personal development. And we'll scroll down. We'll put some tags in that are terms associated with the document. Scroll to the bottom. Set our featured image. And there's our blog 2 image. That one is now set. Scroll to the top. Now, if you didn't want to publish immediately, you could go inside and choose a date that you'd publish something. I'm going to publish this immediately. Now we can right-click on that, open a new tab, check it out, and there's our second post. Notice it automatically added the Share Post plugin so other people can share your blog posts. We'll close that. I'm going to go ahead and add the additional post at magic speed. Okay, and so now all 6 posts have been added. And let's go ahead and look at this particular post. Right-click, open a new tab. I'll bring that up. This particular one, Bethany wrote about people that wanted to make money using blogs, and so if you have an interest in doing that, this may give you some more information as well. We want to make a couple of changes to this to make this more user-friendly. First of all, notice it says by YODA user instead of by Pepperlow. And if we click on that, it has a picture of me. We don't want that. Well, she doesn't want that. So we'll back up. How do we fix this? We'll go back to our WordPress admin. So the 2 things we'll change are the profile picture and the pin name. The first thing we'll change is the profile picture, and we're going to do that inside of Profile Press. And I go to Plugins, and then I scroll down to Profile Press, and I choose Settings. I'm going to choose Profile and Cover Photo. Now I want to scroll down. Where it says Disable Gravatar, we're going to choose to disable that. Now we want to choose an image. At this point, we want to upload a profile picture for Bethany for her blog. Bring up our content folder. There's her profile picture for the blog. Drag that over. Select. Save changes. Next, to change the pin name, we're going to go to Users. I'll click on the username. We'll scroll down. And for nickname, we'll change it to Pepperlow. And for the display name, we'll choose Pepperlow. And there's also a section to do bio info. Let's put a little bio in there. Choose Update Profile. Profile's updated. Now if we go back to our post and scroll down, where it says YODA user, if we reload, it'll now have Bethany's pin name, Pepperlow. If we click on Pepperlow, it now says Pepperlow has her picture and it has her bio. Pretty nice, right? Now if we back up, we're looking at a post. Now one of the problems with this post is that there's no way to really get anywhere else other than the post itself. So a really convenient thing to have is a sidebar over here that has a lot of controls that you can use within your blog. So let's go ahead and add the sidebar. So we're going to go back to our WordPress. We're going to go to Appearance, Customize. We'll choose Sidebar. Under Blog Post, we'll choose Right Sidebar. We'll hit Publish. And then we can close out of that. Now we want to customize our sidebar. To do that, we're going to go to Appearance, Widgets. Now the sidebar that's going to be the one that's on your blog post is called the main sidebar. And for whatever reason, there's a lot of stuff in here I may or may not want. The defaults for these are never exactly the same. So what we want to do is we want to clean this up. Now if we go to the script file, this is basically what I want to get. I want to have a search box. I want to see recent posts. I want to see recent comments, archives, categories, meta, and a tag cloud, and we'll talk about those. But basically, we're trying to get to that, and we're currently seeing this. So the first thing that we can do is delete all of these that just say block on them. I think as much as anything, they're just duplicates. And now we have the list that looks like this one, except that there's one extra one that I want to add to this. Now on the left-hand side are all the widgets you could add to your sidebar, and you could probably find other plugins to add additional stuff. If I scroll down, the one I'm interested in is called Tag Cloud. If I click on that, I can choose where I want it to be. It's got by default, it's chosen the main sidebar. I'll choose Add Widget, and when I scroll up, now Tag Cloud has been added to the collection of widgets on the main sidebar. We're not going to give it a title. It'll automatically say Tag Cloud. Also, you can organize these however you want. That order right there matches what we have on our list. Again, you could pick other ones if you want to put stuff in there, but these are basically the general tool set you're going to see on most blogs. And there is no save on this page, so basically it's already saved. So now if we come back over to our post and we hit reload, and now you can see the sidebar has been added. We have a search box, we have recent post, comments, archives, categories, meta options, and a tag cloud. The next thing you might wonder is, say, okay, here's the default, but what kind of control do I have over this? And the answer is really not much. The free version of Astra, the free version of Elementor, neither of those give you any real tools for doing any updates and changes to the formatting for the posts themselves. So unfortunately, kind of stuck with the excessive padding and the default font and things like that. I know you're saying to yourself, hey Yoda, there must be a way to fix the spacing in the fonts for free, right? Absolutely. I will show you. So what you want to do is go to your script, and you're going to look for a section under the blogs that's called Adjust Blog Post Font and Spacing. And this is Cascading Style Sheets, CSS. Don't worry about what it does, just worry that it does it. What you want to do is select the yellow text, copy it to the clipboard, and now we're going to go back to our WordPress admin. We're going to go to Appearance, Customize, and at the very bottom is Additional CSS. We'll click on that. We don't need this little window, so we can do Close. And right here, there's nothing in there yet, so we're just going to paste that in at the top. And now we'll do Publish. And now we'll come back over, and this is what our page looks like right now. This is what the fonts look like. This is what the spacing looks like. We hit Reload. Look at that. We have better spacing now. We have a different font that doesn't take up so much room. It's a lot cleaner than it was before, and it was free. So at this point, we want to be able to access our blogs from a blog page. If we click on our blog page, actually, let me clean this up real quick. We've got an extra tab here. If we click on our blog link, it takes us to our default About page. Remember, we made a duplicate of that. We'd like that to come up with our blog. So let's go do that. So we're going to go back to our WordPress admin. We'll close that to get to our dashboard. We're going to go to Pages. We'll hover over Blog, choose Edit with Elementor. And from within here, we're going to delete the top section and delete the About Me section and leave Words of Wisdom. We'll choose Update. And now we'll exit Elementor. We'll choose Appearance, Customize, scroll down, Homepage Settings. For Post, we'll choose Blog. We'll hit Publish. And now we'll visit our website again and hit Reload. And look at there. There's our header. And there are all of our blog posts. Now, unfortunately, no matter how much you talk to yourself about, hey, Yoda, this really doesn't have a lot of formatting. What can we do about it? I don't have an answer for that because, unfortunately, there wasn't really an easy free way that I was able to do that. There must be free plugins out there that will allow you to have more control over your blog layout than this, but I haven't been able to locate them. However, just for comparison, if you have access to Elementor Pro, it's possible to make this page look really professional with very little work at all, and that's what we're going to do next. So we'll go back to our WordPress, and where we had Post page and we set to Blog, let's go ahead and set that back to Select, and we'll hit Publish. Now we're going to exit out of that to our dashboard. So let's edit this page again with Elementor. Now at the very top, we're going to insert a section. We'll choose our folder. We'll choose My Templates. Now we want to insert our blog page header. So we'll choose Insert. Always choose No. So at the very top, we will not need this intersection that has the logo and the menu in it. So we're going to go ahead and close that one. Not the one at the top, but that one right there. So we close that. Now there's not a lot of space there. Let's choose the widget that has the word blog in it. We'll go to Advanced. And where it says 200, let's put 300. Now we want to add another section just below our header. And in this box, we'll hit the plus. We'll choose a single column. Now we want to go up to our widgets again. We'll type in the word Posts. That's the one we want right there. Make sure your icon matches that. Drag that over. And there it is. That's looking nice. Now let's go ahead and change a couple things on it. First of all, we'll set the skin to cards. That's really nice. Now let's go ahead and do some formatting on this. So we're going to go to Style. We'll go into Content. Under Title for Typography, we'll set the font Open Sans Condensed. We'll set the size to 24. We'll close that. Next, we'll do the excerpt. Typography. Font Open Sans Condensed. We'll set the size of this to 21. We'll close that. Finally, the Read More. Typography. Font Open Sans Condensed. And we'll set this one to 16. Close that. Now we'll hit Update. Now we'll go back to our blog and hit Reload. And look at that. We have a really nice looking blog now. Now I understand it took Elementor Pro to make it look that good, but that decision is going to need to be up to you, whether or not you feel it's worth paying for Elementor Pro to be able to get a nice fancy blog that looks like this. Now we're ready to work on our final page of the website before we start on the shopping cart, and that's the Contact Us page. So let's go ahead and go back to Elementor. And now we'll exit out of Elementor, back to our dashboard. To start on our Contact Us page, we need to go back to Pages. Then we want to go down and hover over Contact. Choose Edit with Elementor. The first thing we'll do is delete their header and add our own. So let's delete that. Now we'll choose the plus sign to add a section. We'll go to our folder. And remember, we saved in our My Templates our About Us header. So we'll go ahead and insert that. Always choose No. Now, we'll choose the About, and let's change that to Contact. Now we want to change the background image. We have a special one for this page. So we'll go to Style. Click on the image. Now this is one of the situations I was talking about earlier. It didn't come up with the pictures this time like it had before. I don't understand why. Want to bring up our content folder. Now we're going back to our header images. They'll be near the top. And there's our header image for the contact page. Drag that over. Choose Insert. Now we're ready to work on the next section. Let's go ahead and change the Message Us. We'll choose that. Go into Style. Typography. We'll set the font to Open Sans Condensed. Size 30. Close that. We'll also have a background that we're going to use, so we'll choose that section. We'll go to Style. Click on the image. Now we want to go back to our content folder. Scroll to the top. There's our background for the contact. Now notice it's not going to matter that the pictures aren't here. I can still drag that over and it works fine. Choose Insert. Now we're going to scroll down. We'll set the settings for this soon that'll allow this to point to your email. Under Contact Us, let's put some content there. Like that. I'm going to make that a little darker, so I'll go into the style for that. Change the color to that. Close that out. We'll go into typography. Font, you guessed it, Open Sans Condensed. Size 21. We'll put a weight of 400. That looks nice. We'll close that. Now we want to put a profile image under this. So we'll go back to our widgets. Let's drag an image right there. We'll select the image. Go to our library. We'll scroll down. The image we want is already in here. That one right there. Insert media. Scroll down. Let's go ahead and style. We'll set the max width to 75. That's percent, by the way. We learned that already. And now for Follow Us, let's edit that. First, we'll go into Advanced. Instead of 100 for the margin top, we'll put 70. Go into Style, Typography, Font, Open Sans Condensed, Size 30. That looks good. Let's close that. At the bottom is our social media. We'll choose that. I'm going to go into Style and set the size to 32, make it bigger. Go back into Content. These can be added, subtracted, organized. So for example, I can take Instagram and drag it to the bottom like that. Now you're going to set each one of these, so we'll go ahead and set hers. Now to close these, be sure you click on the name, because if you click on the X over to the right, you're going to actually delete the item, and that would be bad. Now in Bethany's case, she doesn't have a YouTube, so we're going to use that one differently. So we'll recycle that one. We click on it, we'll go to here, in the box, we'll type medium, and there's medium. We'll insert that. Now for the link, we'll put her medium link. You can close that back down. I think we'll put that one at the bottom. Now let's do the Facebook one. Set the link to that. Close that. Now we're ready for Twitter. Our Twitter link is that. Close that. Let's put Twitter at the top. Open Instagram. Set the link. Close it. And we're okay with that now. So let's come back on this side and work on it a little bit. We'll go ahead and choose this widget. We're going to come over to the left-hand side. We'll go ahead and set the address. Like that. Close that out. Now we'll put the phone number. Like that. Change the hours. Like that. Obviously, you could pick different ones. You can also move these around. You can add one right there. So let's go ahead and go to Style. Under Text, we'll set the color to that. Close that. Typography. Change the font. Open Sans Condensed. Let's make that 21. And weight of 400. Now we want to work on our map. So we can select that widget. We can put our location. Zoom at 15 is fine. But I think we want this a little bit taller. Maybe you come down to here somewhere. Let's try 500. That looks good. We'll hit Update. Come back over to our page. We'll click on Contact. And look at there. We already have a Contact Us page. It was that fast. Isn't that nice? But now we need to get the forms to point to you. In this case, they're going to point to Bethany. But you get the idea. So let's go back to Elementor. Now we're going to exit Elementor to the dashboard. Now we want to edit our forms as well as set the forms to point to the email we want them to go to. To do that, we're going to go into WP Forms. And then I'm going to choose the contact form. That's the one we're going to edit. So I click on that. Now this works very similar to Elementor. That's why it's such a great product. And everything we're going to do with this basically is free. So suppose you wanted to add a subject line. On the left-hand side, grab the single line text widget, drop it in just like that. Now, if we choose Field Options, and we select that field, now we can edit that field, and we can make it say Subject. Now, suppose you want it to go all the way across. Under Advanced, set field size to large, and now it's all the way across. So now let's say you wanted to have a phone field. Come back over to Add Fields, and you look and you're like, uh-oh, there's no phone field. Oh wait, here it is. And you click on the phone field, Upgrade to Pro. That's quite convenient. Everybody's going to want a phone number, yet we're going to have to pay for it. But you're saying to yourself, hey Yoda, there's got to be a way around this. Don't you have a trick for this? Absolutely. I will show you. So we'll close out that window. Now, instead of picking the phone field, let's go back up, pick the single line field. We'll drag it in. Let's say we want to set it there. And then we'll go back to Field Options. We choose that field, set the label to Phone. Now we have a phone field. Now let's say you want that field to be required. You notice the ones with an asterisk next to them, those are the ones that are required. So for the phone field, if we turn this on right here, now it's required. It has the asterisk next to it. Now we'll go into the Advanced, and we'll set the width to large. Now we have a phone field. But what's the difference? Well, the main difference is when somebody enters a phone number in ours, it's not validated to make sure it really is a phone number. Now we want to set where the email is going to go to. So on the left-hand side, if you go to Settings, and then you go to Notifications, right here, Send Email Address. That is the email that it's going to send to. By default, it's going to be the one that's in your admin, and that might be fine. But in our case, the admin was mine, but we want these to go to Bethany. So we'll put that in there. And we can set the subject line for the emails. So let's change that. We'll change it to say Self-tastic comments. And then who do we want the from name to be? We'll say from there. We can leave the rest alone. Let's go ahead and click Save. Now I'll close that. And we'll go ahead and make the change we need for the sign up page as well. So we'll click on Sign Up. We just want to go into Settings, Notifications. This will also go to Bethany. For the subject line, Join Club Self-tastic. Set our from name. Everything else can stay the same. Hit Save. Obviously, we didn't do a lot in WP Forms, only the stuff we really needed. But if you're interested in learning more, make sure you watch my video. If you're looking to learn more about what WP Forms can do for your website, then you'll want to check out my WP Forms for Beginners video at some point. So we'll hit Close. And now we want to test this out to see that we get email. So back to our website. We'll hit Refresh just to make sure we're looking at a fresh copy. And notice now it has the subject line. Now this is going to go to Bethany. So let's send it from me. Subject line, test, hello world. Hit send. And our message was sent successfully. Good job. Now, one of the things you might be interested in is you might have said to yourself, hey, what about some formatting here? What can we do? Well, again, without getting the pro version, they really don't give us a lot of tools. But you're like, but Yoda, you always have a piece of code for us so we can do it without having to pay for it. I know, you're right, and okay, I will show you. So what you want to do is you want to go to your script and look under the Forms section for a section called Format Your Forms. So once again, you'll highlight the yellow code, like that, copy it to your clipboard. Now let's go back to our WordPress. And now from here, we're going to go to Appearance, Customize, scroll down, Additional CSS. Let's click on Contact over here so we can actually see this working. And that's what it looks like right now. Down below this, let's hit a couple extra lines, paste that in, and look at that. It changed everything up just a little bit. Again, I'm not going to try to teach you CSS, but you can look in here and see that some of these things can be changed and get a little bit more flexibility if you like. We'll choose Publish, go back to our page. That's what it looked like before. Hit Reload. That's what it looks like now. So our forms are now complete and they should totally meet our needs. What could go wrong with that? So we have already discussed the advantages of website forms for collecting email addresses so we can improve sales with a free email campaign. But there is also a disturbing downside to email forms that needs to be addressed. You see, for every honest person that submits an email form, you can expect 5 or more spam emails, and the more spammers that figure out that your forms can be spam, the more spam you will get. What follows is a short workshop that I did on email spam, so you might hear some voices in the background, followed by the easy steps to make your forms spam-proof. So I wanted to quickly talk about email spam. Everybody who has a website knows eventually you start getting spammed messages that are just garbage. And what happens is when the hackers figure out that you are an easy target, they just tell more hackers. And so then you become the target. And so you get more and more and more of this over time. Now, the problem is procrastination. I'm going to tell anybody and everybody, you need to do this now, not later. And this actually happened to WebYoda at some point back in the past. And that's how we got involved in this. But what we said at the time was, wow, we've solved our problem, let's move on. And then somebody else later went, no, Yoda, this is a great opportunity for you to share this wealth of knowledge and tell people what actually works. And if they don't do it and they end up spammed, you go, I told you. It's really not that big of an expense to get involved in it, but it could be a real troublesome thing if you don't do anything about it. Because at best, what happens is progressively you get more and more spam. At worst, you get so much spam. What you got to understand is that when you receive a message from your form, you actually sent the message out, not the person that spammed you. They filled out your form sent the message out, so you're the one creating the spam. And if you create enough of it, your email provider will start ignoring you. So if you've got Gmail and it's pointing to your Gmail, you'll get marked as blacklisted, and all of a sudden you stop receiving mail because you were sending out too much. And you're like, but I didn't send out any emails. But every email that comes from your website, you sent out because you're authorizing it to come through there. So the idea is to minimize what that is so you don't get blacklisted. If you do get blacklisted, it's difficult to find the right person to get it fixed with. It could be expensive to resolve, and it's not something you do overnight. So the ultimate best way is to avoid it altogether. Now, here are some quick and dirty spam techniques. One of them is called a honeypot. And the idea is if you go to a website and it has a form, imagine that there's a field on the form that you can't see. And let's say that field is, I don't know, what is your income level? And it's not there. Well, the robots, the bots that do this, they'd see the form and they would fill in, oh, well, let's just pick 50,000. Well, then when they went to submit it on the back end, it'd go, we didn't really want an answer in there. We see you put one. And so not only are you marked as spam, but we didn't send the email. And so you're able to identify these. And that's what each of these things are. They're a little trick. This comes free with the paid version of WP Forms. And it turns out that all these extra tricks are all things, if you just happen to be running the paid version of WP Forms, you get all these things as part of it. That's what's nice about it. So the second one is that a special token, and I won't try to go into what it is, but let's just say you go to fill out a form and there's a token applied to it. When you hit the submit button, it goes with the order. But if you're doing it automated, the way that you automated click on a button is not the same as physically clicking on a button, so the token doesn't get sent. You can see on the other end the token's not there, so it's kind of like honeypot, the same kind of thing. They identify you as a spammer that way, and you're ignored. One of my favorites that WP Forms does is what's called a submission form timer. If you go to a website to fill out a form, the likelihood that you can fill it out in 30 seconds or less is almost zero. If you're doing an application for a purchase, let's say you go through Jose One and you want to buy their services, there's no way you can fill out the form in less than 120 seconds. So what we did was we used this timer. For the Jose One contact page, it's 30 seconds. For their subscription page, it's 120 seconds. And their spam went to virtually zero on this one thing alone. Because when a bot fills it out and sends it in 5 seconds. The other problem is if a real person tries to spam, which there are people who do that, and they're on the application page, they don't know how, it's not like there's a timer that says how long you have to wait. They just keep saying that you haven't waited long enough. But if you're legitimately filling it out, it's going to take you 2 minutes, and then you hit submit, you never even knew there was a timer. They eliminated almost 100% of the issues they had with fake orders coming in. Another one is a keyword filter. Also free with the paid version of WP Forms. And at the bottom of this, I have a list of all the keywords that I like to use. And basically, you can go and just copy and paste those into your WP Form. And anytime one of those words shows up, you just don't accept it because they're just not legitimate messages. So what you want to do is go through the 300 words, look for ones that work for you, delete the ones that don't, and maybe add some that we didn't consider. The other two things are very popular, also work for free with WP Forms. I hate butchering something. I'll say Kismet anti-spam. This basically is a database of all the things that they already know are spam. It checks the database against what somebody submitted, and if it's in the database, it doesn't get submitted. The other, everybody's probably seen, it's the Google CAPTCHA, where you have to, at bare minimum, click the box, and if they think you're kind of spammy, then you have to answer some complicated little thing where you click on pictures and stuff like that. All these are great things. But if you want to have the number one strategy for doing anti-spam, you're going to want to do all these things. And so what we ended up doing was if you buy any version of WP Forms, and at the very top of this page, there's a link to these 3 things that you need that are of interest to make this happen. If you buy any version, even the cheapest one they have, it will include all this, and you can basically just turn all of them on the way that I've turned them on. The only one I don't turn on is I don't need a collection of the entries that got marked as spam. I'm not going to go through those to see on the off chance they're not spam. I'm going to assume they got marked for spam for a reason. And maybe I miss one out of every 1,000. But I don't want to clog up my system and go back. I'm just not going to look at them, so why turn that on? So there's my 30-second timer on that. What's nice is that in each one of these, and I've included a link, it shows you how to get to the tutorials on how to do each of these things. So the one that's for the Kismet and also for the Google, there's a tutorial there. And then when you're ready to get started, once you bought your WP Forms, you just install it like you would any WordPress plugin, and then you just click on instructions here, and it takes you to a page, and they tell you how to set all this stuff up. So it's a great, wonderful tool. It's a money-back guarantee. If you don't like what it does, give it a try, and if you're not happy, they give you your money back. If you are happy, you're spam-free for an indefinite amount of time, because as changes happen, they'll add new features, and they'll inform you about what those features are. I hope you found my short email spam seminar helpful. If you may have surmised by now, there is no totally free solution to eliminate spam. But the price you pay to eliminate spam is far less than the price you could pay because of spam. What's next are the easy-to-follow steps to apply WP Forms spam protection to your website. The first step is to go to WebYoda.com/spam. And from here, you want to click on wpforms.wordpress at the bottom left. And this link will take you to the WP Forms website, and it also ensures you get the best possible price from WP Forms. Now you want to choose the Get WP Forms Now button. And they got different options. You most likely only need the least expensive version. You'll notice this says it's a yearly fee, but I can assure you if you purchase it once, you don't have to renew and it'll continue to work just fine going forward. Now you'll want to click on the Get Started button on whichever plan's best for you, which is probably the basic plan. Now since I already completed my purchase, I can't walk any further on this. But what's going to happen once you complete your purchase is you're going to be given the opportunity to download the latest version of WP Forms, as well as given a license code to activate your Pro version. So at this point, while you complete your purchase, go ahead and pause the video, and then when your purchase is complete and you have downloaded WP Forms and have access to your license code, come back to the video and we can proceed. Okay, now that your purchase is complete, you should have the latest version of WP Forms in your Downloads folder and access to your license key to activate the Pro version. So at this point, we want to go back to your dashboard in WordPress, and then we want to scroll down and find Plugins. Then we're going to click on Add New Plugin. Now it says Upload. We want to choose Upload Plugin, choose File. WP Forms should be in your Download folder, but wherever you put it at, you want to access it. Choose that file, and then choose Open. Installation is complete. Let's activate our plugin. Plugin is activated. Now we have a list of the plugins here, but just to be as thorough as possible, I like to click on Plugins again. That brings up the list of plugins. Now we want to scroll down and find our new plugin. And you should see a link that says Activate WP Forms Pro. Choose that link. You want to paste your license code into this field. Hit Verify. Congratulations, your site is now receiving automatic updates. We'll click OK. And now we're ready to activate the email spam protection in our website. Now if we go back to WebYoda.com/spam and we scroll to the bottom, it'll show us the settings that we want to set. And then I just need to show you where to find these settings at. So now let's head back to our WordPress admin. And you have to do this for each of your forms. So we'll go down and choose under WP Forms. We'll choose All Forms. And I'll choose the first form. And then we're going to choose Settings. And now there's this Spam Protection and Security option here that wasn't there before. So we'll choose that option. And from our guide, we're going to turn these on, off, on in 30 seconds. On, off, on. And now I can put 30 seconds in there. That means somebody's going to have to spend at least 30 seconds on our form before they submit. You can put whatever time you think is best for you. I've already activated the Google CAPTCHA on mine, but I'll help you in a minute show you what you're going to do next to activate that on yours. You could enable filtering certain countries out if you wanted. I don't normally do that. I'm going to enable the keyword filter. So let's turn that on. Now I'm going to go back to WebYoda.com/spam. I'm going to scroll down. I'm going to highlight all these words. Just like that. Copy them to the clipboard. Go back to my WordPress admin. Your keyword filter contains 0 phrases. Let's click on that link there. To edit our keyword list, we can click inside the box, paste our keywords in there, scroll down, hit Save Changes, and we'll need to do that for both of them. So I'm going to hit Save here just to make sure that it saved everything. I can close that. Now I'll go back to our second form, choose Settings. spam protection and security. On, off, on. 30 seconds. This wasn't turned on this one yet, so I'll turn it on. You'll have to do some activation to make that work, but I have instructions for that as well. I'm not going to use the country. I'm going to choose Enable Keyword Filter. I'll turn that on. And now I want to edit my list. So I'll click on Edit Keyword List. It's still there in my clipboard, so I can paste it in, but it turns out that it went ahead and found the default list from the last one we already set up. I can choose Save Changes. You'll see this automatically saves, but I like to go ahead and save it again just in case. And at this point, we can click X. And now all our forms are spam protected, except that we have a couple more steps that we can do to give it some additional protection. So you want to go back to webyoda.com/spam. And we'll scroll back up. And the two last things you need to do is you want to set up the Akismet anti-spam, and it's free. And you want to set up the Google reCAPTCHA, and that's also free. There's a tutorial to get to there right here, and there's a tutorial for the Google one to get here. Now you can also scroll to the top to get to the instructions for the Google CAPTCHA and Akismet anti-spam. Just go ahead and use their tutorials to walk through that. It's really quite easy. And once that's complete, you'll be ready to continue with the video. Now officially our website's complete, but there's one more step that we don't want to forget, and that is to turn on secure pages for our website. To do that, we're going to go back to WordPress. We'll exit to the dashboard. Now we want to install the plugin that's going to allow us to make our pages secure. So we're going to go down to Plugins, Add New Plugin, Upload Plugin, choose File, make sure we're looking at our Downloads folder. And now the one we're looking for is Really Simple SSL. Hit Open, Install Now, Activate Plugin. Now, if for some reason you didn't have this plugin already, you just need to go to webyoda.com/plugins, scroll down to this project, and then download the plugin you need. Now, once that's installed, it immediately says, hey, go ahead and activate. But I don't want to do that just yet. What we want to do is we want to scroll down, find the plugin, and we're going to go to Settings. Tells us we're not connected yet, we know that. But what we're really looking for is this check mark. It found an SSL certificate detected for our website. If you don't see that message, you need to contact your hosting company to ask them how to get your certificate activated. Because without a certificate, we can't secure your web pages. Since we have a certificate, all I need to do is click on Go Ahead to activate. Now it's been activated. Once you've activated your SSL and you weren't in secure mode, it's likely to want you to log back in. So for example, our next step is going to click on Elementor. And when I did that, it asked me to log back in. So I'll choose Login. So our next step was we clicked on Elementor, it brought up this page, and it has these options. We're looking for the option called Tools. So we click on Tools. And then we're going to click on Replace URL. So in this box, we're going to put our original URL when we didn't have secure pages. So I'll paste that in. And notice it just has HTTP. Then in the second box, I'm going to paste the same thing. But at the beginning, I'll put an S right there. Basically going from non-secure pages to secure pages. And it's going to look throughout the entire website and see any places that finds this and replace it with this. We'll hit Replace. 261 rows affected. That was a good thing. Now, if we go back to our page, notice it's not secure. If we hit Reload, now it has a little lock there, and now we're secure. So our website is officially complete. Okay, so our website is pretty much complete, but now we need to cover 10 different ways. I know I originally said 9, but I've got a bonus way that I want to cover. 10 different ways of creating affiliate income. Most, if not all of those, are possible through your website itself. And to do that, we're going to go to a web page called webyoda.com/AFF. And here I've put together an entire collection of all the affiliate resources that I use on a regular basis. So as we look down, you'll see it's got all the different ones. And so what it doesn't include are all the ones over the past 5 years that I've found very difficult to work with. It's only the ones that are real easy to work with and I've found the most success making money with. Now, before we jump in, I want to make one comment, and that is now's the time to sign up for each of these affiliate marketing programs that we're going to discuss. It can take time to get approved, and you want to be able to get things approved as soon as possible so that you can get moving forward making money as soon as possible. I think it's important to note that all of the affiliates that we'll be using are free to sign up for and free to use. So if you find an affiliate program they're trying to charge you to be a member of it, you need to steer clear. And the first affiliate method we're going to look at for making money online is called Rakuten. So Rakuten is a very unique affiliate in that basically you become your own affiliate. So let me explain. Say you go to Walmart.com, you find something you want, you purchase it, and they send it to you. Well, you purchase the item and now you own it. However, once you become a member at Rakuten, then when you go to Walmart.com to make a purchase, you automatically make a commission on your own purchase. Now, since Rakuten is associated with over 3,500 online stores, there's a really good chance they're associated with most of the places you're already shopping online. So for me, that's added up to over $1,800 in just a few years. Now, I brought this up in an incognito window so that I could see the same thing you're going to see. So I'm going to go ahead and click on Affiliate Sign Up. And the first thing you see is that you're going to get $30 bonus today. So basically, all you have to do is sign up and then pick from their 3,500 different stores that they represent, spend $30, and you'll get the $30 back. And as a bonus, I get $30 for you signing up. So you see, this is a win-win. And what's nice is that then you can tell your friends, they'll go, hey, did you hear about Rakuten? And they're like, no. And you can go, well, this is great because you sign up, you get $30. And it just keeps propagating. So when I log into my account, you can see I've made $1,800 basically just buying things that I was going to buy anyway from, these are some of the most popular ones that I've used. And I'm making a small amount at each one of these, but all that adds up over time. It adds up to be real money. So now if we back up, and so I have 3 other short links. One takes you to search their stores. So if we click on that, this shows you all the stores they represent. Here's some quick categories. You can scroll down through some of the popular ones, or you can type something in the box here. Let's back up. The next is the browser cashback. And what this is how to get access to the browser plugin that allows you to automatically save money. So let's click that one. And from here, you can install the browser plugins for one or more browsers, depending on which ones you use. I use Chrome and I use Firefox. And that way, anytime you visit somebody that they represent, it'll come up with a box allowing you to activate the cashback. So let me give you a quick example of how the browser plugin works once you get it installed. Let's say I go to staples.com. Page comes up. Boom, on the right-hand side, I can activate my 2% cashback. And then I do my shopping, and at the end of my shopping, when I place my order, I'll automatically get my 2%. That's the benefit of having the plugin. Let's go back in our browser. And the final one, which I haven't done this one myself, but it looks pretty promising as well, I should try it, is called In-Store Cashback. And I think this is a fairly recent thing because I just found out about it. Method number 2 is to put an affiliate link inside of a blog post. So let's do that next. So I'll open a new tab and I'll log into the self-tastic.com website to the back end. And I'll go to posts and let's choose the first one. And what I want to do is I want to make a link to this particular book that Bethany's talking about, and this is the title for it. And what we're going to do is we're going to use our Amazon affiliate to do that. So let's go back over to our affiliates page. And if we scroll down, we can get to the Amazons. And under the Amazon affiliate resources, the first button is sign up and log in. So if you choose that one, it comes up with the sign up method for joining the program. I want to sign in, so I'll go ahead and choose sign in. And now if I go back, notice I have 3 additional links. Now obviously there's a lot you can do with the affiliate resources, but these are the ones I regularly use. That's why I have these. I can add a tracking ID. Let's click on that so you can see what that is. This is what a tracking ID looks like. The -20 is your country. So in this case, I'm in the United States, so it's 20. So whatever country in that might be different. And then you can make as many as you want. Now the tracking IDs allow you to know where your traffic comes from. And so for this particular example, this is a Bethany website. So I'll click on hers. It brings it up here. I can highlight it, copy it to the clipboard because I want to use her tracking tag for sales that have stuff to do with her website. That way I know where the sale came from. So now that I have her tracking tag, I'm going to search for how to start a blog today. So let's go back and I'm going to choose get product links, how to start a blog today. And there's the product she wants to promote. We'll choose that. Now when you look at the URL, all of them will have some little code in here that starts with a B. And what I do is I go to the end of that and I delete everything to the right, and then you put question mark, tag equals, and you paste in your tag. That's the syntax or the correct method for telling the browser that you get credit for this link. So what I did is I highlight this, I'll copy that whole link to the clipboard, and now I hit enter, it comes up with this book. And we're going to add this to Bethany's website. Now immediately you're going, but Yoda, this is a free book. What's the point? Why is she going to do this? I will tell you. One of the things you don't know about Amazon is that if somebody comes to their page, even though they're getting a free book, if they buy anything else while they're here, no matter what it is, you get credit for that sale. Now, obviously, when you're making your blog and you're selling items, you're doing reviews, you want to put items in there that actually cost something as well. But in this scenario, it's a free book, but if they buy anything else, we also make money. So I copied the link. Now I want to go back, test my affiliate link. You paste that link in, and then you check the link. So notice it says that it's a valid link. So I can come over to her page. I've already got that highlighted. But I'll do it again. There's the highlight. I can choose this to make it a link. Paste my link in there. Hit enter. I can update. Now if I go back to her site, I'll make a new tab to do that. And I go to her blog. And it was this one. And I scroll down. That's the text that we made a link. And there's our free book. And if somebody buys this and they buy anything else, we also get credit. Affiliate method number 3 is adding an affiliate link to a WordPress page. The website we just built was an Elementor site, but not everybody's going to be using Elementor all the time. So I wanted to show you how to add it to a WordPress page as well. So let's open up a new tab. And we're going to go into WebYoda's admin. We'll go to Pages. And the one we're going to work on is called WP Rocket. This is the page I want to edit. I'll click on that page. Now what I want to do is I want to set the paid button to point to how I'm going to get paid for this particular product. Now just for a frame of reference, let's look at what this page looks like on the website. We'll go into the WebYoda Foundation, and these guys are WP Rocket. And right now, this doesn't go anywhere. I need to add a link that's going to allow us to make money if somebody clicks on this link. So let's come back to here, and I can click on that. And so what we need is our URL that goes there. So let's go back to our affiliates page, and share a sale is who I get the WP Rocket affiliate from. So if you wanted to sign up, you go to that link. I want to log into my affiliate, so I'm going to click on there. I'll log in. And then I'm going to click on links. get a link or banner. And then I can choose from all the ones that I have. In this case, WP Rocket. I can get links. I can copy the default link, come over to the page, paste it in, hit done, hit update. Now we can go back to our page, hit reload, and now when we click on the button, it takes us to the WP Rocket website where they can purchase that product. And if they do purchase it, we'll make money off of that purchase. And for our fourth affiliate method, we want to do an affiliate link inside an Elementor page. So we're going to go to a different website, yourultimatevacation.com. We'll log in to the back end of that. And so we're going to go to Pages. The one I'm interested in is the Jamaica page. Edit it with Elementor. I'll scroll down. Now what I want to do is I want to put a button next to this one, and I want to make that button, if somebody clicks on it, it'll take them to a place where they could make reservations for a stay at Couple Sans Souci Resort. So let's go back over to our affiliates, and a section I have is on travel affiliates. And for hotels and cars and things, bookings for planes and things like that, we've got booking.com. And then if you had anything that was cruise specific, we have cruisedirect.com. The one that's missing from here is TripAdvisor. And TripAdvisor would be great. I'd love to use them, but I can't get approved for them. The content's not enough or something. It's just really complicated for me to be able to get an affiliate approved. Same thing's true with Google AdSense. We'll still talk about the advantages of Google AdSense, but they have requirements that are real difficult for even for me to meet with what we have so far. And if I can't make it work, then I don't want to tell you to do it, and then you go get frustrated. So unfortunately for this travel choice, TripAdvisor is not an option, but fortunately Booking.com is great. So you'd go here to sign up. Now I'm already signed up, so I'm going to go ahead and log in. Notice how it came up with the Rudicon where I could get 4%. What that means is once you have this set up and you want to purchase any kind of hotel or anything like that, you buy it through your own affiliate link and you'll make 4% back on your stay. So from here, I want to go to Products. I'm going to scroll down until I see Affiliate Links. I'll choose Affiliate Links. And this was a little less intuitive than I wanted, but I'll walk you through. It's not too bad. Where do I want the link to go? Notice it has these different choices. I'm going to choose Hotel Page. Select the country. I'll choose Jamaica. That's my default because that's the one I signed up and said I wanted to use when I did my sign up to become an affiliate with them. The city this is in is Ocho Rios. And now when I scroll down, I don't need any dates or anything. I'm just going to choose Show a List of Links. And now there's a new search box right here. And I can type in couples. And there's the link. I'll highlight that. Right click, copy it to the clipboard. Now I come in here and I'm ready to add my link. I'm going to come over and pick a button. Drag it in the box. Over here, let's just put Book Now. I'll get rid of that # and paste in my link. I'll hit Update. Now that it's updated, I'll exit back to the dashboard. And then let's go visit the site. We'll go to Jamaica. Scroll down. There's our pretty button. I click on our button. Comes up with the hotel page for Couple Sans Souci. And anytime somebody books through this link, we'll make money. And method number 5 is to create a custom coupon code instead of using a link. In multiple networks, depending on what companies you sign up with, will allow you to make a coupon code. And the one that we're going to use as the example is Impact. So that's the link if you were going to sign up for Impact. Once you're signed up, you can use this link to log in. So I'll go ahead and log into my account. I'm ready to sign in. Now I'm signed in to Impact. There's that same number, the amount that they owe me right now. That's how much we've made today so far, and it's still early in the day. Now we want to go to Content, Promo Codes, and you just request a promo code. So these are all the promo codes I have, and these are for example, there's the one for the HostGator that you use to sign up. Instead of me having a link, I could just give you that promo code. What that means is you can put that promo code on your website, you can put it on your blog, you can put it on a YouTube video, you can put it on your social media, and anybody who goes to HostGator and types in your promo code, you'd be able to make money by them typing in your promo code, and it also gets them a discount. Now, method number 6 requires you to have Google AdSense. And I wasn't able to get approved, but it is important to point out how this works in case you can get approved. It really is neat. So let's go ahead and click on Google AdSense, and I'll log in. I actually do use AdSense, but I use it for my YouTube money because it's actually kind of easy to get qualified to make money on YouTube, though using your website is a little more difficult. So I can go to Sites, told me it needed attention. That was because I didn't meet all their criteria. I can come in here, and this code right here, all I need to do is add that to my website, and it'll automatically put ads in the best places on your website. So that's pretty neat, right? So you don't have to go and figure out where to put them. On every page in your website that you want to have AdSense show up, you can just do a custom HTML tag. It says you're supposed to put it in your header tag, and you can search on how to do that if you really want to do it that way. But really, you can just use the custom HTML. You put this code in there. The code's going to be invisible because it's a script, so nobody's going to see it. It's not going to show up. It's just a way of inserting it in your page. And so for every page you want those ads to show up, it'll magically make those show up in the right places on your web page. And when they're displayed, you'll make money. Now, method number 7 also uses Google AdSense. So even though the main point of this video is how to do affiliate marketing in a web page, it is important to point out that one of the best ways to supplement your affiliate money on your website is by making YouTube videos as well. So let's say you do a review website and you're reviewing products. Well, you can have the products reviewed in your blog, and then you can go make videos for each of those product reviews and put them on your YouTube channel. And then once your YouTube channel has 1,000 subscribers and 4,000 public watch hours, it'll allow you to go ahead and monetize and let you know, hey, you're qualified to monetize now, and you can start making money, and it's good money. For me, for example, we've got 10 different videos that are monetized. For example, one of them is how to make a protein shake, my favorite protein shake. But it's like 10 videos, and they're short, and between those 10, I make about $100 a month. Some of those are 3 or 4 years old, and I'm still making, on average, $10 a month off each. Well, if I'm making $100 a month total, that's $1,200 a year. Well, if I was to get 10 times as many videos, instead of making $1,200 a year, I can make $12,000. So if you build a review site, you really have a potential for making a lot of money by adding videos of your reviews as well and bringing in multiple revenue streams for the same content. And method number 8, if you were to continue and add the shopping cart to your website, let's see what that looks like. So we go to her website, we click on shop, and let's say I chose the clothespins, and here's an item, and instead of adding it to the cart, it says I can buy the product. I click on it, and it takes me to the item that's at Etsy, and if this item sells, I make affiliate money off of it. Well, Bethany makes money off of it because she's the one that runs that. But you get the idea. Instead of having your own items, you can point to items that are somewhere else that you can make affiliate money off of. Those could also be Amazon links as well if you wanted. Method number 9 I like to refer to as shameless donations. So let's scroll to the bottom. But now you're saying to yourself, hey Yoda, I've been paying attention really close and I don't remember those links being there. Why are they there now? I will tell you. Originally I was going to show you how I use donation links, but then I thought it'd make more sense to be more thorough and show you how to create the donation links so that you can use them in your website as well. So there's two very popular payment networks when you're doing websites, Stripe and PayPal, and we're going to go into each one of these. So we'll go to Stripe first. Now if you don't have an account, you'll want to set one up. Otherwise I can do sign in. And what I want to do is I want to create a payment method. Now one of the advantages of having a Stripe account is it allows you to accept direct payments. Now if you decide to add the shopping cart to your website, it also uses Stripe. But if you're not going to do the shopping cart, you still might want to consider having a Stripe account. For WebYoda, for example, it would have been difficult to collect direct payments online if we didn't have this account. So now we're going to create a donation link. And to do that, we're going to go to Payments, and we're going to go to Payment Links. And notice I have a Pay Your Invoice Online. I made that one as an example so that you could see that that would be something you could do for your clients. We're going to add a new payment method. At the top, select the type. We want the second option, customers choose what to pay. I want to choose a title, Fund the WebYoda Foundation. I'll go ahead and add a small description. The currency is okay. I'm going to choose to suggest a preset amount for the donation. We'll choose 20. Then I want to scroll down. Under Advanced Options, instead of the button saying Pay, we'll change it to say Donate. Now I can come up here and click Create Link. And now this is the link for our donations. I can copy that link. And now I want to go to the WebYoda site and add this to the WebYoda site. So I'll log into WebYoda's admin. I'll go to Pages. I want to search for the WebYoda Foundation page. I know it has Donate on it, so I can find it. So we'll edit that page. Now I want to put a button right here to the right of the title. So I'll click on Add Widget, Button. I'll paste in our link. And then right here, Make a Donation. Hit Done. Update. Now let's see what the page looks like. There's our Make a Donation. Obviously you can style that to whatever you want. I just want to show you how that works. Now if we click on that, it takes us to the donation page. We can change the amount if we want. If you scroll down, it says Donate because we told it to say Donate. So let's close that. And now we want to look at the second method, which is the PayPal.me method. So we'll click on that. And then if you don't have an account, you create one. If you do have one, you just log in. And I already have one. So what I could do is just click Copy a Link. But if you don't have one, you'll want to make one. And let me show you what that looks like. If I copy that link and then I paste it up here, you see that's what it looks like. Basically, I picked the name Send Friend. It happened to be available, and that ends up being my PayPal.me. So we have our PayPal.me link. Now let's go to YouTube, WebYoda. We'll click on the first video there. Now I place my PayPal.me link in two places in videos. If you scroll down, the first place is inside Show More. And you see it right here. I pasted it in there. And then the second place is at the top of the comments. I'll make a comment on my own page. I put the link, and then I pin it. So you see I could unpin it, but it's pinned. I want to leave it pinned. And what me and Bethany do with these tips is we actually go out of our way to get coffee or a drink, a glass of wine or something, just to kind of remember that these are real people that made a donation. They didn't have to, but they chose to, and we really appreciated that. Now, I don't expect tips from everybody, nor should you. But if somebody decides to give you one, definitely thank them. And our final type of affiliate is kind of a self-promoting affiliate. This came up by accident. That's why I got added as a bonus. I added a page on WebYoda called webyoda.com/Amazon. Let's click on that. And basically, it's just a bunch of links to products I use on a regular basis and people ask me about on a regular basis. So if you scroll down, it's got different things that people have asked about over time. They want to know, which products do I use and why did I use them? And I can answer those questions for them. So for example, I've made a number of mentions of the whey protein. If people click on that, they have access. They don't have to do the research. I've already done the research. And they can purchase the product. And if they do, I make a little bit off of it. But the main point of this page is that I can give it to my friends and family. They can make it their Amazon landing page. And then any purchases they make on Amazon, I end up making a piece of it if they don't mind doing that. And most of my friends don't mind doing that because they're not Amazon affiliates. And they don't mind giving something back if there's an opportunity for me to make something off of it. And I'm sharing my knowledge. It's a win-win. So that's just another revenue stream you could consider. So that's it for the affiliate marketing methods I use to make money on websites and on YouTube. But also wanted to cover a couple more things that'll help you maximize the affiliate income you can make on your website. The first of those I'll call affiliate website best practices. Be sure to use the best pictures and content possible for your website. The way Google works these days is that Google sends somebody to your site. If they stay there a while, they assume they must have enjoyed the content. If they don't stay very long, they probably didn't like the content. And that kind of makes sense. So the longer the session times are at your website, meaning the longer somebody spent there, the more Google thinks they enjoyed your website, so next time you'll come up higher in the search results. So there's definitely a correlation between the quality of your content and how high you rank in the organic search results. My second recommendation is to update content regularly, make improvements, because Google will notice this as well, and when it sees that you're an active website, it's more likely to bump you higher up in the search results. So when you're talking about making improvements in content, one of the best places you could do that is at the beginning of the year. So anytime you did a review that was about a particular year, make sure to update that year and update the review. And the last is make sure you're adding new content and new blog pages on a regular basis. Google definitely notices this and will put you higher in the search results because of it. It's certainly been the case for me and my clients that the more content they add, the higher they rank in search results. Now you have an affiliate website. Now you need people to come to your website. And I use 2 strategies to try to get people there. Well, 3. The question is, how can you reach people when you don't already have a following? Number 1 is to adhere to the best practices we just discussed. Google definitely takes notice to new content, fresh content, quality content. They take notice to how long people stay at your page. So if you want to get better traffic, make sure you have better content. Number 2 marketing tip is paid Google AdWords. If you want to make sure you show up in the search results, pay to be in the search results. Now, Google AdWords can certainly be an expensive solution, but it certainly can also bring you a lot more viewers. My third suggestion is website backlinks. A backlink is a link that points to your website from another website. The more quality websites that point to you, the more valuable your website seems to Google. Also, the more quality websites that point to those websites make them look better to Google, which in turn makes you look better. Now, WebYoda uses Jose1.com for all of our backlinks. I encourage you to visit their website as they have a tutorial that teaches you how to build your own backlinks for free. They also offer subscription options, which is typically what we recommend for our clients. You'll find that the pricing is significantly less than a Google AdWords campaign, and I expect you'll be very pleased with the results. They also offer a first month money-back guarantee if for some reason you're not satisfied. Now first remember, these are only the basics for marketing your website. I suggest you do some research online before you take your site live to make sure you've considered all the best marketing strategies at your disposal. So our website is officially complete, and if you don't plan on adding the shopping cart to your website, there's one more thing you'll want to check out. At the end of this video, I have a search engine optimization section that'll teach you how to make your website liked better by the search engines. If you will be adding the shopping cart to your website, simply choose the link above to proceed to the shopping cart video. Then jump ahead to the section for adding the shopping cart. So we've reached the end of creating the website. I hope you've enjoyed taking the course. I know I've enjoyed being your guide and your instructor. But as promised, I had 4 really key things that I wanted to add at the end of this video that'll help your website show up in the search engines better. The first tip is that inside of WordPress, there's a place that specifically discourages search engines from indexing your site. Once your website's live, you don't want it to be discouraged from being indexed, so let's fix that. Exit to the dashboard, and then we're going to look for Settings, and under Settings, we're going to Reading. And this may or may not be set, depending on when and how yours was done. And look at that. Search engine visibility, discourage search engines from indexing this site. I definitely want to turn that off and hit Save Changes. Tip number 2. There is an amazing plugin out there called Yoast. Every website that ranks higher than yours probably has Yoast. Also, free. So we're going to go to Plugins. We're going to add a new plugin. And over here, type in Yoast. 5 million active installations. Tells you something. So let's go ahead and install it. Let's activate it. Now you have the most powerful plugin for doing SEO available. Tip number 3, secure pages. Google likes websites that have a lock. Google likes websites that are mobile friendly. So if we can do both of those things, we're going to ensure that our website's liked better. Tip number 4, you want to make sure the search engines think the value of your website's stronger than any of your competition's. Obviously, having a lot of great graphics and great content in your website makes a difference. Having a really good look and feel like this website makes a difference. However, one of the number one things that improve your search engine results is by having other websites point to you. If somebody else's website has a link to you, that's called a backlink. The more backlinks you have, the more important your website seems to Google. The more backlinks the people who point to you have, the more important they seem, which also means the more important you are. Now, it seems like a lot of work, but if you go to Jose1.com, these guys will teach you everything you need to know about backlinks. That's basically all they do. And if you look at it, Jose1 SEO literally is their middle name, so they know what they're doing. Now, under SEO education, it shows you the basics, the terminology, and the details. They'll teach you everything you need to know as far as making your own backlinks, how it works, how to make the system work for you. And if you decide you don't want to put the time in to build them yourself, you can also contact them. So if you decide to use Jose1 services, be sure to mention the promo code WebYoda, and that'll save you 50% off your monthly subscription and 100% guarantee on your first month. If you don't like it, you get your money back. Now, I truly hope I covered everything you needed in this tutorial. Now, if there was something I didn't mention or you had additional questions, please leave them below. I'll be more than happy to answer them for you. But if I don't know the answer, I'll go, hey, I don't know. But if I do know the answer, I can find the answer, I'll give it to you, and maybe we can work on it together. So I really enjoyed doing this. I hope you had a great time as well. The only real payment I'm looking for, if I could possibly get a subscribe out of this, possibly a like out of this, that'd be super helpful. But outside of that, I just hope you have a great day. Peace out.